What's up, everyone? We are here to talk about Werewolf by Night tonight. That was rhyme. Didn't even fucking make it rhyme. So I got some guests with me tonight to do this. If you're here for some black and death metal, that's not happening. This is gonna be my fucking nerd geek out show. Necron's hot takes. So on this, we're talking nerd shit to the core. All my goofy ass shit that I like with my goofy ass friends. But like Corey says, sex, drugs, rock and roll, late night with Necron. It happens. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. But when will it happen? All right, my first guest I'm bringing on. I think everyone knows who he is. He needs no introduction because he is Skywalker the Jedi. What's up, buddy?
Yo, I was back here rocking out. I was, hey, that shit had me pumped, bro.
Yeah. Hey man, you can find some great non-copyrighted music when you look for it, And I had to change that theme after you told me what happened. I was like, well, fuck that. I'm changing it. So I found something, so we should be all good now, man.
Nah, hey, it's we all good. What's up? What's up to the chat? You know what I'm
What's
saying?
up, Chad?
Much
How you
love to
doing,
you
buddy?
guys. Much love to Mr. Snyderverse. And I saw retro in there. I saw socks. Who else did you put on here?
Oh man, Socks Retro, my friend Aaron,
What's going on here?
Mad.
Mad's Mama Bear. How are
Yeah, you know she loves watching Skywalker.
you?
Bat Dan's in the house. Who
God
else was
damn,
up in
what's
here,
going on?
man?
What's going on?
DC Talk. What's up, DC Talk? You came in early. We see you.
I had to make sure I was looking good. You know what I'm saying? I gotta
Oh
DC
yeah.
Talk. What up, DC Talk? Well, how you doing, bro? What's going on?
Let's see what Bat Dan says. What's up? We'll be watching soon. Getting a video recorded. Mace Windu fans are going to hate me. Uh oh. Bat Dan's gonna have a hot take.
Uh-oh.
Hot take back then. But not only do we have Skywalker with us, we got another guest in the building.
Who could it be, Necron?
Who could this be? He has been summoned from the pits of fun times.
And so it shall be. What's up, everybody? How we doing tonight?
We are
What's
doing
going
good,
on?
man. We are doing good.
Fantastic.
It's a beautiful night. We got October's here. Perfect
Yes.
night to talk about your show tonight. So I'm super excited about this. When you sent me the message, I was like, oh snap! I haven't watched it yet, so I'm just fresh off of it. So I'm super excited to talk about now.
Good.
Yeah.
I just watched it too. I just watched it too. I finished it probably about 20, 30 minutes before the stream started. So
my friend Aaron wants to talk about LeBron.
About
that'll
LeBron.
happen, but not tonight, dog.
LeBron
tonight.
Who?
Oh, gee, I'm not gonna go there. Now Leon's gonna want to pop in. We got Retro
What's
Nerd
up, Retro
Girl
Nerd
saying,
Girl?
what's up? Love it. Socks. Oh, Socks loves it. Well, we're gonna get into that. All right. So let's get into it, guys. First impressions. My first impression is I loved it. For what's been going on with Marvel lately, I think this is exactly what they needed to make some people happy. It was, all the kid shit, none of that. They took it up a notch for Marvel, and violence and I guess the scare. It's not really scary. It's still Marvel. And if you ever read the comic, it's kind of faithful in the kind of tone the comic book had. That's to me, I had a complete run of that comic when I was a teenager. And the tone, I mean, yeah, obviously there's, it's not perfect adaptation, but they got the tone of that comic book because Werewolf would also fight freaking Iron Man and all this other stuff too. He would cross over with the regular Marvel, but mostly it was supernatural stuff. So that's my first impression. What's yours, Guy?
Man, look, as somebody as I am, who is like a somewhat newer viewer of like Werewolf by Night stuff, right? This thing was super dope to me, yo. I mean, You're absolutely right. This was so much needed. It was a great change of pace. The violence and gore, they really kicked it up a notch. I was like shocked at some of the stuff that I saw, you know, that they actually carried through with. And I love the aesthetic, right? I felt like it was super dope. Like at first, I was trying to place what time frame that it was
Mhm.
in,
Yeah,
and
because it was kind
then
of undefined.
right? Yeah. And then you end up figuring that out later that it is in present time. And it's like, yo, you know, it was super dope. And yo, I was just very pleased overall with the whole thing.
All right. And Super Bro, what is your first impressions?
Yeah, so I am also like Sky new to this. So Werewolf by Night, somewhat familiar with the comics. Saw a little bit here and there. Kind of looked into it a little bit when first heard about the show, and yeah, man, I think this is going to be a big show for Marvel as well as a show that I think they're going to get a lot of traction from a lot of people. I think they're going to get some DC pull coming in to see it because it's something completely different that we've seen from Marvel in who knows how long. Um, yeah, the 1930s, horror tone to it
Yeah, the
all.
black and white was a nice
Mm,
touch.
Oh, it was great.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It
And
was
when
great.
the screen and would they put in that
Oh,
filter where it crack and
then the
pop and
burns, the
yeah
film burns from
mm.
the and all that from changing
Wait,
films and
are we going into spoilers or no?
we will go into spoilers, but not right off the bat. I'll give
Okay, all
everybody
right,
a
cool, cool, cool,
warning
cool.
if they want to bail out
All right, cool,
because
cool, cool, cool.
yeah.
But I thought it was just absolutely beautiful, really well done, and yeah, super excited for what's in store with Werewolf by Night. Of course, Marvel's making me jealous, some way, like, oh,
Yeah.
why can't
Yep.
the DC fans get
I hear
something,
you.
like this? But yeah.
Yeah. I actually think they're gonna do more of these little one-off special
Yeah,
presentations.
I do as well.
Because this was dope. This was
Mhm.
like dope, and it was very much needed. And I think it's gonna resonate well with their fan base and with outside fans as well. Like Corey was just saying, because with me being more of a DC fan, and I've been down I haven't liked their tone in quite some time, right?
Oh,
And
the Marvel tone, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
that's true. You've been saying that.
Yeah, and so here was like you could see they're gonna keep going with this overall tone, and I think that this bodes well for the Blade movie because I was a
Mhm.
little worried about Blade,
Me
right?
too.
And yeah, in particular, not saying that they have to go like rated R totally, but if they are gonna go PG-13, right, it needs to be like this, right?
Yes.
So absolutely.
And there were some funny scenes to it, but there was
The
a
humor worked
dark.
Oh,
good.
It worked
That's it
great.
was like an
I
older
actually
Marvel
really
movie.
Hmm.
laughed at that one at
Mm-hmm.
the end. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna say anything, but that one at the end, I really like, huh? Like, I really like, what I'm saying? Like, laughed out loud. So, yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely, but there's that dark grittiness to this
yeah,
entire, show that I just really
It
adored.
almost reminded me like it's black and white, but it kind of like a black like if it was made in the 80s kind of too. It kind of had some 80s like horror movie elements to it as well.
Hmm.
It was like
yeah,
if they I don't know, like made a in the 80s they tried to make a retro movie or something. I don't know. But
yeah,
with the good effects that we have nowadays obviously. But yeah, that black and white really just added to the tone of it because you got that kind of whole universal monster feel to it, but much presented much better. And it was smart of them to do it in black and white because obviously they can make the blood black and get a not red and get a lower
yeah.
what is it whatever TV score from the kids that can come in because if it was red it might have changed everything. They might have to put a TV
That's true. That's true.
mature or something on there. So Marvel was slick on that. Like, oh, we'll just put it in black and white because okay, we can't go much further about spoiling. So if you haven't seen it, you don't want to get spoiled, you may have to leave. We won't go like super plot mega plot details spoiling, but we will talk about some things. And right off the bat here, the kills are violent. Now they're not like, these, unrated horror movie violence, mega gore, with your innards getting ripped out and all that. But I mean,
No,
the
for a Marvel project,
shit,
it's probably the goriest one.
Yeah, this is MCU's most violent ever, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, he's ripping throats open, Oh, and the way that one, all right, spoiler time. That one dude, he reminded me of fucking David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust character. I don't know. I was like, holy shit, man! They totally made him look like Ziggy Stardust, man. And he got killed violently by the daughter. I forget her name, but
and even the one that got the thing through his throat, right? And it was kind of like coming out of his mouth. I was like, wow, like this is this is pretty trippy. But hey, I was there for it. And look, let's just say this. It's about time. It's about time that, Marvel really put their big boy pants on, right? And saying, hey, like we're gonna give you guys something different, right? And I feel like they are kind of in a position where they had to almost do this, right? But
with the She-Hulk and Thor and Love and Thunder being the kind of the last two things, right? That they have produced. It's been kind of lightweight stuff. Real light. When Thor, Love, and Thunder. I mean, if you have people,
which I still have not seen.
Yeah, you ain't gonna like it. Oh, look!
You guys told me not to watch it.
Ooh,
Trey's in out.
Trey saw it. He dug it. So
yeah, he's saying it's dope as fuck. Shit.
Yeah,
and it is. I mean, I'm biased, I was going in because I'm a Werewolf by Night fan, but I also could have been like, had my hopes up high and got crushed. And I would be here right now saying, that's fucking sucked. It is, blah, blah, blah. It was terrible. Wow, Werewolf was lame. But no, man. It was trash.
So you're a fan, Necron. You read the comics. It came out, what, 1972?
The original Werewolf by Night?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Stranger Tales?
It was actually Marvel Spotlight. I don't have.
Okay.
But it started in Marvel Spotlight, which was an old Marvel comic that would spotlight different characters, and Werewolf by Night. I think it was like number 15 or 16. Actually, yeah, totally like 1970, 71, somewhere in there. 72.
Okay.
But here we have. Let me remove Corey's comment. That's the original issue.
Wow.
The actual Werewolf by Night. See, now I was wondering if they were going to make him look like the Werewolf by Night or make him look a little more modern, with the more howling style big werewolf with the, big snout and long.
No, he looked like Werewolf by Night, yo.
Yeah, they made him look like Werewolf by Night. Here, you just saw that, so let's take a look at this. See? I didn't know when everybody saw this one, they showed these shots before, but you never know if that's full transformation or not. But that's the Werewolf by Night. He looks like the comic.
Okay.
Which I was like, hey, that's cool. That's cool. They went that route because you know what? Because everybody, of course, is going to compare them to this.
Now,
Lon Chaney's Wolfman. No, that looks like my friend when he don't take a shower and doesn't shave for a couple days. But anyway, that's Fruit, my friend. He has that frizzy ass hair. Sorry. Yeah, so Werewolf by Night, dude. Fucking cool, man. Let's see. Retro Nerd Girl says she loved the design of the werewolf. Reminds me of David's mid-transformation phase in American Werewolf in London. That's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before he got on all fours, running around, ripping up everybody.
Now, the Bloodstones have their own comic too, right? In the Marvel.
I can't say. Okay. They may or may not. That's a good question. I didn't look. I didn't research for them. But they. Go ahead.
Because that Ulysses Bloodstone definitely intrigued me, and then Elsa Bloodstone. That was
Yeah.
that's a cool family line there. It was like the oh gosh, the stepmom's name for Verusa or whatever it was.
Mm.
That was
Very
a
Eastern
very
European kind of lady. Yeah.
yes. It was an interesting relationship that they had. So it definitely makes me want to dive deeper into their family and more into Ulysses as well.
Yeah. Did you catch like the aunt like died like in the 20s? So like obviously they were saying the bloodstone extends their life. So these people obviously like live maybe 100 plus years, 200 years, whatever, but that bloodstone is obviously powerful. And I like how they said it came from space. That's how, that's always the Marvel trick, something lands on
Yes.
Earth and someone takes, gets it and does their thing with it and, whatever they do. So yeah, I like that. But I also like um how they didn't know, total spoiler now, they didn't know he was a werewolf because they were all brought together to hunt a monster, and the monster had the bloodstone kind of put into his heart, right, or something like that's what they were saying, and they were gonna have to
They
kill.
like attached it to his back.
Yeah, so they would have to kill the monster they were hunting to retrieve the bloodstone and be the new leader because Ulysses' bloodstone had passed away,
Hmm.
and they were looking for a new leader. And that was kind of funny and creepy how they did Ulysses bloodstone in the coffin talking, but all animatronic, like the crypt keeper or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, animatronics. I totally. I got a Chuck E. Cheese vibe going there. You
Yes,
know.
it did look like that. It was creepy and funny at the same time, and all the little Frankenstein Easter eggs with the stitching on the forehead. And I guess
Yes.
that's too because what I guess they're alive for so long. They probably get stitched up and they start falling apart or whatever.
Yeah, because he has over 200 kills, so that's pretty impressive. You
Yeah,
know,
that's a long life.
yeah, long life of killing. So yeah, yeah. That no, that was a pretty funny scene for sure.
I always want to say Super Bro. Damn, sorry, Super Bro. Your brother Trey wasn't too crazy about the face design. He wanted more beast like, more fur, ferocious. I could see that, but look good enough. He looked werewolfy enough to me.
And yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to you about that some, Trey, because for me, I was okay with it, because again, I'm thinking, 1930s horror. I liked the simplistic side of it all. The
That's why.
more
Yep.
yes, go for it, Necron.
No, no, I'm agreeing. That's what I think they were
Mm-hmm,
trying to do there. They were
mm-hmm,
they were bringing it down a little, making it more, like instead of a werewolf, it was more like a wolf man. You
mm-hmm.
know, if you follow horror movies, the wolf man is more the Lon Chaney looking type of wolf man, and the werewolves are, got the big snouts and they're 7+ feet tall and ferocious looking and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you another thing they did that I liked about like they obviously looked at the comic because the way he would jump around and just like jump on like the gargoyles hanging from the ceiling, all that, like, and his movements and the way he just like crouched and did all that type of stuff. That was exactly how the comics, how he would fight and attack people. So they did some research on it, to make it look like the Werewolf by Night comic. Cause like when he broke out of the cage and they saw he was on the roof or whatever or the ceiling in
Mm-hmm.
that area
You saw
hopping
his
around.
eyes glowing.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, he's moving like the Werewolf by Night. They're making him leap and jump and attack the way he did in the comic books. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, it was super dope. And Corey was speaking about interesting relationships earlier. I was just about to get in there. I want more Jack and Man thing, right? Like that was like pretty cool, yo. And
how awesome is it we have a man thing in live action now? That I would never even thought that ever would happen. That you would have a Werewolf by Night, let alone with fucking Man Thing in the show. Those are like kind of deep dive characters. Okay,
Yeah.
Trey has a question. Do you think we'll see Werewolf by Night and Blade or Moon Knight sequel? I do.
Oh, he means like specifically. I
Like
remember.
showing up. Yeah.
Nah, Mikey told us which one it was, or maybe he told me. I don't remember. But
Don't
yeah,
remember.
no, it
Phil.
it was one of those. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
I think from what I'm seeing, the reaction to this is freaking positive everywhere. They'd be crazy not to incorporate him somewhere else. So I think,
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
gonna
look,
show up, man.
he's showing up.
That's
He's showing up for
so.
sure.
He says Blade or Moon Knight. Well, Blades are probably the next one to be shot. Hopefully, if they figure out their script, I would think it would be a perfect way to cameo to Werewolf by Night in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Start setting up that Midnight Sun, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you are, Austin. If you want to hop on in,
The good Austin.
the good Austin. This Retro Girl says, I like that we get the first tip of the off that he was a werewolf when he could smell the blood on the hunter's hand. You know why? Because Retro Girl, you're so observant. You catch all these little details. I didn't even stop.
I didn't. You know what? I didn't realize that either.
Oh, really?
I'll admit it.
They were just pushing along that he was the werewolf. In my opinion, the entire way. But they did it subtly, very subtly, because when his name Jack Russell, immediately I'm thinking like
yeah. If you're a fan of the comic and the character, yeah, you're gonna know. Okay, that's the werewolf, obviously.
Yeah, but kind of a kickoff to like Russell, a dog's name. Exactly. Right? Yeah, I knew you knew the reference there. So so you got that. But, when he kind of stopped and he as he was like first entering Bloodstone's castle or lair or whatever that main spot for them all, the hunters, as he's walking in, you see him kind of look off to the side and he sees the kind of the werewolf thing, and he kind of stops and he kind of stares at it for a little bit and then kind of keeps on moving by. And then the other thing that I thought was interesting is the key of him kind of looking at that vampire head on the wall, and where he said that like he's fought that guy a few times, like I fought that guy a few times. I was like, oh man, that's him. That's him.
Well, I mean, that answers the question too, with vampires.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I mean, that's confirmation, all types of the Monsterverse and the Marvelverse, it exists. We're there already. I mean, we already got that with the Blade, thing at the end of Eternals, but
I'm hoping that they leave Blade, and we'll see Jack Russell again in Moon Knight season 2. That's kind of my hope, because I know we'll eventually see them all together in like those Midnight Suns side of thing, where like that's where Marvel's heading. That kind
of even in a post-credit scene, Corey.
I don't think so. I like because Blade, there's always the vampires versus the werewolves type feel there. So I kind of want the Blade just to be strictly, let's jump right into Blade, because this is going to be high focus on him, man. He's going to have to show up, because people loved Wesley Snipes, so it's going to be.
Look, I 100% agree. I just don't see the harm in it being in like a post-credit scene. Mm-hmm. I think that would be dope. Like, because these characters are gonna have to start meeting one another pretty soon. So you might as well get that whole thing started now, right? Because look, you already have Moon Knight. Right now, you have Werewolf by Night out, right? Then you'll have Blade out. I mean, it's like, you got to start. Where are we going with this? You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, and like Sock says, in the 70s, Werewolf by Night and Moon Knight met. Yeah, it was issue 32 or 34 of a Werewolf by Night was the first appearance of Moon Knight. One of those two. So, yeah, that's going to happen. The good countdown coming this weekend. I don't even want to talk about Russell. I was going to say Westbrook, because he's kind of bad. Russell Wilson, yeah. Oh man, Yeah, this is all going to start coming together, just like they did with the superheroes on the regular Marvel MCU. They're going to start tying this together. But what's cool is, you know, we're going to have the MonsterVerse, and it's going to be, I think what a lot of people who got, like Sky was saying, people who were turned off by what Marvel has turned into, the last 5, 6, 7 years, they might be able to jump back in with the MonsterVerse because it's looks like it's going to be a little more serious. I mean, if you're going to get this type of action, and that was another thing. This was fast paced. Like if
Yeah,
someone says I was bored, it was boring. They're lying their ass off because this was fast paced. It was like right into the thick of things, pretty much right off the bat. There was no
yeah,
long setup. There was no long, long character build up. Like
yeah. Like it almost was like doing a movie's job in half the time, right? So,
yeah,
um, yeah, it was very fast paced.
I think some of the Marvel series that are on, Disney Plus could learn from this about pacing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because just I like this pacing.
What I have to, give it up, give a shout out to Michael Giacchino there because, he not only directed this, but he composed it as well, like the Bat Channel said. And of course, just hearing us talk about the pacing and how the just overall, just flow of the movie worked, it was so perfect, similar to how he writes and composes music, right? It was just a perfect flow. So of course, I was curious to see how Michael Giacchino would be as a director, and he just perfected it and had a great flow of the movie the entire way. I was really impressed with what he did.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing I'm gonna throw my little musician part out on here. A lot of time with a song, you do need pacing in a song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You have your peaks and the valleys of the song. You have the
Mm-hmm.
parts where you guys headbangers will say, we need a part to slow down the headbang to get into a headbang beat. Because if you're just writing songs, constant blast beats and attack, tack, tack, that's great. But maybe about third or fourth song, the crowd starts weighing, because they're like, okay, I'm worn out, man. I need just a slow down rhythm I can headbang to, and not be full
yeah,
on attack. And so that also goes with with a movie. You need pacing,
Mm-hmm.
between the straight up action and then also story plot. Or just talking and doing the developing the plot of the movie within dialogue. But if you do that for too long, what the fuck happens is, people start tuning out because it's like, this is fucking boring, man. Some movies and shows over explain something 20 times when they already had explained it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Trying to like make sure that you understand something for a bigger payoff later in the movie. But at the end of the day, that they tend to do a lot of hand holding nowadays, and
Yeah, I
I
think.
can always appreciate when a filmmaker doesn't hold my hand and tries to let me kind of figure things out.
Yeah, I think too. They almost got to the point where they think the audience is too stupid to figure out things out, so they got to explain every detail. And it's like, we don't need all that, all the time. Especially if you're like in a series of movies and you kind of already know the background and things, you don't got to re-explain all these things over and over again. Oh, and Retro Nerd Girl says she doesn't feel it is connected. There was no fluff in this. I might have missed what you're saying, but it is in the MCU. But yeah, it feels totally disconnected from
And
Yeah,
the
I
MCU.
I actually was reading an article that Michael Giacchino, because timeline is a big thing that people are talking about. Like, where exactly does it fit in, especially amongst the MCU as a whole? Because obviously, in the opening credits, we saw, the Avengers, on the peak there. And, Thor was up there, Captain America, who's dead, Iron Man, I think, was up there and everything. He's also dead, and a few others. Big time spoilers if you not a MCU guy, but people are trying to place where exactly they were in the timeline. And supposedly, Michael Giacchino and Marvel and Kevin Feige and everything, they haven't specifically talked about where exactly it fits in. And Michael Giacchino says he has an idea of where it could fit. So it definitely makes me curious about what's in the future for this. But yeah, it was yeah, impressive.
I want to make a comment I saw in the chat. Austin, Comos, Texas is the guy who puts out my band on cassette. So he's cool. Don't worry about it. He's just he asked if what we thought of the Black Adam trailer. And I mean, I'll talk about it for a second. I think Black Adam looks fucking great. I can't wait to see it. It just looks better and better and better every time they come out with something new for it. Quick hot takes from anyone? Want to give their impression of Black Adam trailer?
Oh, can't wait. I'm going to the Chinese theater to see it. Can't be more excited.
And you, Corey?
Yeah, Black Adam. It looks fantastic now after seeing the updated and the leaked information, trailer and scenes and everything like that. So, this is the Black Adam movie. Even back when we were in the old regime, was a movie that I was still, the most excited to see.
Yeah, I can see that. Mm-hmm.
Now that it's in the new regime, I'm even more excited to go see it. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah,
Cosmos. Yeah, thanks for coming in, bud.
Great question. Aaron's a great guy. Okay, back to Werewolf by Night. Retro Nerd Girl says this was a tight production. Everything that was shown in this movie was important to the story, and it did it with style. That's totally true. Totally true. Because again, the production value was good. I mean, the set looked cool. It looked still kind of 1930s, but modern as hell. I like that the security guards looked like the time variant police. Is like I think I was watching someone else. They made sense of saying they're probably just leftover costumes, saving on budget. Just, reappropriated them for Werewolf by Night. Said fuck it, who cares? They have the same weapons, or maybe they're somehow affiliated. Who knows?
Or hey, maybe.
Yeah, this is Marvel. Maybe the Bloodstone is something.
That's where
maybe Loki broke the multiverse, yo.
Well, this guy, they said it themselves. Let me get out of here now.
Yeah, wait, because there's a different, because the TVA is different now, right?
Well, yeah, that's right. It's all been reset. The man thing is a multiverse, multiversal creature. He can travel the multiverse.
The guardian of the nexus of reality, of all realities. So yeah,
maybe there is a connection with it.
Sounds important.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe too Marvel saying, "Oh, this is the one shot." Don't worry. Nah, this shit. There's a plan. There's something going on there.
That's where they kick our ass every freaking time, man. Like, oh, this is just a one-off. Like a one production type thing. No, Marvel has already thought about it, and so they're in like 2050 right now, and they're freaking planning. Like it's freaking insane, and it makes me jealous as a DC fan, wishing that it was one of the things that pissed me so much off about the old regime about getting the plan down. So yeah, they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, this isn't like. Yeah, I think I heard some bad takes saying like, "Oh, Marvel didn't know what they were going to do after Phase 4 and this, or what are we in Phase 5 now, right?" Mm-hmm. I forget what phase. Okay, yeah. Then they didn't know what we were going to do after Phase 3, and COVID saved them. I'm like, you're crazy, Feige. Mm-hmm. Feige, I mean, has all this planned and mapped out. Mm-hmm. He's not sitting there throwing darts at the board hoping something sticks. That's crazy talk.
So wait a minute, are we in Phase 4 still?
They announced Phase 5 at San Diego Comic-Con with the upcoming, lineup of stuff. I think Phase 4 technically with everything else that's currently going. So, yeah.
But
I'm not a Marvel show, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know all anymore. There's so many phases now, but to assume that they didn't have a plan, I don't believe that.
No, they definitely had a plan.
Yeah. You don't make that type of money not having a plan.
What was your thoughts, Necron, on the fight scenes and everything like that? Like Elsa, she was a freaking badass. I was curious to what she was going to do, and then she freaking came out.
She's obviously trained. I mean, she knows how to fight. She's deadly. It kind of had some of that John Wick flavor to it in my eyes. The way she was fighting and taking them down, and the choreography of the fight scenes looked great. Mm-hmm. I also just like that the werewolf was this hack and slash, man. Ripping, just throwing them and ripping them up, and so yeah, werewolf like doesn't need choreography. He was, this a werewolf, doing his thing.
I can tell that this made Necron so happy, yo. He was like, yo, I can't believe it.
You know me too well, man. You know me too well.
We're getting Werewolf by Night, man thing. He was just sitting there cheesing from ear to ear. He's like, yo,
I had to pull out my Marvel Monsters box.
All right.
Wow. Yeah, so who all? Okay, you got Dracula there.
Mm-hmm. You got Dracula, werewolf, Frankenstein monster, and Zombie.
Nice.
Was the Marvel zombie character. So these are their classic 70s, Marvel horror, stuff. So I think we're going to be getting all this stuff sooner or later in Marvel universe, the little sub corner with the Monsterverse in it. And you got, Marvel's Dracula is a great character too. They could pull from the comics. They have great stories for that, dude.
Make sure you check private chat too, Necron.
Oh, okay. You all carry on.
Yeah, no,
Hey, this about to be great. Corey.
Oh, okay. We're about to step it up the next level. Okay, let me get back in here. We got another guest. Who can it be, Skywalker? Who wants to come in and talk about the werewolf?
This man really needs no introduction, yo. Real talk. This is, what? And it's funny because I thought about this earlier when I was thinking about the possibility of this happening. And I was like, yo, it's only right to have the guy who scooped Werewolf by Night
exactly
come on the channel to talk about Werewolf by Night, right?
It's only right.
Sense, right?
That would make sense.
It would make sense. And here he is. Everybody, let's welcome Mikey Sutton to the show.
Apparently, these dudes talking about a horror, and my bad signal came on. I'm like, I'm definitely gonna be here. Come on, man.
Your name was dropped too, so it was like you kind of like spider sense going on there, Mikey.
Necron, I want to show you something. I'm gonna message you on Facebook really quickly here.
Okay.
I want you to show the entire group this. Hold on.
Let me get into my Facebook channel.
It's gonna blow your minds, dude. It's gonna blow your minds.
Uh-oh.
Well, while we're getting there, Mikey, I want to know what your first take is on the first episode.
I absolutely loved it. Oh my god. And I'll get to that in a minute, but Necron, check your Facebook right now.
Oh boy. Okay, yeah, I see.
You gotta show this off, man. It's gonna blow people's minds. When I tell you guys who this is, and look what comic book he's copying there.
Give me 1 second.
It's gonna blow your minds, man.
So Mikey, you were you're about my age, so you must have been a Marvel Monsters fan.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Oh dude, I was reading Man Thing and Giant Size Man Thing, all that stuff, man. Hold on a minute, guys.
Okay. I'm getting this set up for Mikey.
Was that kind of your favorite comics to read back then, Necron and Mikey? The horror side of the Marvel universe?
Yeah, it was one of my favorites. I mean, I've always loved horror. I read Pangoria magazine, probably Necron did too.
Yeah, Famous Monsters too when I was a little kid.
Horace J. Ackerman?
Yes.
Oh hell yeah, man.
I would write the Famous Monsters as a little kid. I was in the Godzilla fan club and all that stuff.
Oh god, dude, this is awesome, and I always wanted to write for Famous Monsters when I was a kid, but they ended publication on 82, so I never got a chance.
Yeah, we were a little too young.
I wrote for Cine Fantastique, though. I made it for Cine Fantastique, but then the
that
publisher
was so expensive. I could barely afford those as a kid.
Like $8, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, that's expensive for a kid.
Back then, $8. Holy shit!
Yeah, I know. But the editor killed himself.
Oh wow!
Oh damn!
I wrote for him for about a year or two, and once the internet came around and their distribution got weaker and weaker, right? And depression took over, and I think a train ran him over or something like that.
Oh,
It was pretty bad. Predict C. Clark, rest in peace, guy. Yeah. Still have all your old letters.
wow. Well,
Yeah.
I got this ready to cue, so I'm going to show it, Mikey.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
All
blow
right.
your minds, guys. Wait till you see this. That is Kurt Cobain
Oh my gosh.
drawing Werewolf by Night as a little kid.
Wow.
With giant size werewolf with Morbius taking aim.
Holy
on
shit!
him.
You realize Morbius is on there?
Yeah,
too?
Morbius. Is
Oh my
Oh,
gosh!
yeah.
Wild.
I only know that
Yeah.
because I recognize I used to have that. I remember that cover.
I know the pose, right? The pose that he's taking there. Like, oh my god.
Wow.
So
that's a
yeah, Kurt Cobain predicting the future, man. Got Morbius and Werewolf by Night.
Who would ever, like back then, Mikey? Who would ever thought we would be talking about live action Werewolf by Night, Morbius,
Dude.
and all these?
You and I are about the same age, so we know what it was like back then. We had nothing. We had Auto Man. That was Powers of Matthew Star, dude. We had like bottom of the barrel like ripoffs and stuff, man. Like
Well, we got the Hulk here, with Lou, and we had the short-lived Spider-Man.
we did, the Doctor Strange TV movie.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, that was terrible.
the Captain America with a motorcycle helmet.
Yes. He was a motorcycle helmet, guys.
Yeah. Oh,
What's
God.
up, Leon? Good to see you, brother.
The Captain America van. I mean,
Yeah, dude. Like it was a helmet, just a motorcycle helmet for Captain America.
I remember how excited I was when we had the Superboy Saturday morning show, the live action one.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, and which had Joaquin Phoenix actually on there as looks like a girl. It's wild, but so no, I mean, Werewolf by Night. Yeah, I scooped it and I was so really entertained. Everybody talks about the Universal, monsters influence. Yeah, it's. But I want to talk about something else, Necron.
Sure.
Let's not forget the Marvel magazines were in black and white back in the 70s. The horror magazines. Because where Man-Thing made his first appearance was Savage Tales #1. That was a black and white magazine. So that's what I thought of as well while I was watching.
And you're right, because those magazines were great too.
Oh,
the Tomb of Dracula.
They had naked
magazine.
people. They had nudity in there, man.
Hey,
you're a kid, man. Hey.
And you could buy them as a kid, and no one knew because they were magazines.
Oh, they're horror magazines. They're like they weren't like heavy metal, right? You had some dude chick on the cover. It's just I just watched this monster comics.
I have a question for you, Mr. Sutton. Because to me, it feels like you scooped Werewolf by Night like almost like a year ago or something. Like, when did you actually scoop this? Like, how long ago was it?
2019 or 2020. It was before the pandemic.
You see that?
Wow.
See that?
The future.
And Man-Thing as well. They kind of scooped them both simultaneously because I heard that Man-Thing was going to be in the MCU. I had no idea what the context was. Now everybody was speculating that Man-Thing, Werewolf by Night would show up in Moon Knight because that's where Moon Knight made his first appearance. You know?
I was hoping that was going to happen.
I was surprised when they gave Werewolf by Night his own thing. I was like, wow, really? But damn, that was violent, dude. That was a violent show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we were all talking about that earlier. Like, wow, this is what from people who were saying, Marvel's gotten soft with their last couple of shows. Kids and She-Hulk or whatever. I mean, Kids and Thor and all that. This is like, oh no, watch this now.
As much as I like Bob Iger, Bob Chapek is the one who's loosening the restrictions. Because Iger did not want the R-rated parental lock on Disney Plus. He didn't want any adult material on there whatsoever. Feige fought for it, and Chapek said, no, we're going to have that parental lock on there.
That solves the problem.
Yeah, it's the only way we can compete with Netflix, right? I mean, and HBO Max, because they're having all the adult DC content on there, and Feige felt that they were restricting the artists not being able to, do their thing. Because Marvel Comics has adult comics. Why shouldn't their live action have adult material as well?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Marvel Cinematic Universe. Why can't it, be like the comic books? You got adult comics as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, you look at the Dracula black and white magazines of the 70s. They had nudity in
Oh,
there, man. They had nudity. They had all sorts of violence in there. I mean,
Ray is in the house. Hi, Ray.
anyway, so of course, I'm here. People are gonna expect some bombs, right? Come on, me.
Of course. I'm happy you're here, but if you want to bomb away, sir.
Sure, why not? Writing stuff down. So they're doing more of these specials. Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I said that earlier, Mikey. I was like, yo, they're going to have to start doing more of these special presentations. I literally said that earlier.
I'm excited to announce, guys, especially Necron will be very, very happy to hear this. They're going to do a Tomb of Dracula special.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I had a feeling. Like, if you're
That's
a
too
horror fan as a kid, exactly, you would love Tomb of Dracula, right? I mean, that's one.
I love Tomb of Dracula, of course. Of course.
Yeah, they're gonna do a Tomb of Dracula, not a series, but a special like this. They're gonna take a tryout show, guys. So if it does well, they'll turn it into a series. If it does okay, I mean, it's something to watch, right? It's something in their library, and they can use those characters in the future. Without having DC talk discuss.
Mind blown.
Mind blown there. And so, Man-Thing will get a special. I believe Man-Thing will follow the Guardians holiday special. So Man-Thing will get his own special.
Man-Thing was presented so well. I like how.
Oh my God, who would have thought, right? Who would have thought?
He actually had my favorite kill of the night, watching it all. Like, there was a lot of cool ones, but when he came in and just, like, zapped Verusa, that was just badass.
Oh, that last scene with him?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whoever fears burns it touches the Man-Thing, right? I mean...
Literally? Don't get scared. You're going to get burned. I love it, man.
How cool is that, So Man-Thing will get a special. Probably the next Halloween special will be Man-Thing. That'll be his origin, guys. So we'll find out what his origin is. Pretty sure Werewolf by Night will play a role in that, like how they first met and everything.
Yeah, we were talking about how their dynamic was really done well.
Yeah,
Werewolf by Night, Man-Thing, like Sky was saying. He wanted to see like more of that.
You're gonna see more of Man-Thing. He's the multiverse. I mean, come on, it all fits in with Man-Thing. You gotta have Man-Thing in there if you're gonna do the multiverse.
Now that you're here,
yeah,
were those guards part of the time variant police? Because if Man-Thing is multiversal, or are we reaching? Or are we?
I don't think they are. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they ended up being that way, but I don't think.
I know you never know.
You never know, right? Yeah, exactly. It's funny because in the comics, Howard the Duck is Man-Thing's friend. That's where Howard the Duck made his first appearance. It was Fear number 16, I think it was.
Oh wow!
God, I don't know where this my memory comes from. Just remember shit like this, But they're gonna form a team, guys. So Man-Thing, Werewolf by Night, Blade are gonna be in Midnight Suns. That's where the horror stuff is going. I scooped that. You didn't know who I was.
I remember that.
I scooped in 2015. That's how far back we go. On my Facebook, when hardly anybody knew who I was.
Take the L, Mikey.
You didn't predict what year.
Yeah, there you go. No, they've been planning this for a long time. They've been just like Feige's been like, okay, we're gonna introduce Ghost Rider, but we can't have just Ghost Rider. I mean, let's just bring on the whole team, which includes Blade and Morbius as well, which they got to work with Sony on that. But Sony wants to be part of it, so that's not going to be an issue. But Morbius didn't do very well, though. That's the only thing. So
Morbius is doing well on Netflix, though.
Right? It is. No, see, there you go. It's doing really well on Netflix. Which is kind of the perfect home for it. I mean, Netflix does a lot of horror stuff. They're doing a sequel anyway, so he'll be back. But I heard what you guys were saying about DC earlier. Hamada left so much on the table, guys. Like so much potential.
Moron.
Like he rejected Constantine originally for J.J. Abrams to do instead. There's just a lot of stupidity there. They could have had this for a while now.
Yeah. I mean, this is what Marvel's doing. You know, they wouldn't it be like Marvel so bad? Why didn't they start connecting their universe more, like Marvel first and foremost, instead of disconnected verse?
Well, see, here's the problem with that. Necron is that Hamada is not a comic book guy. He never was. He's a movie guy. I mean, he came from the horror world, right? Ironically, and
Ironically, yeah.
But knew nothing about DC Comics really. And I heard that he didn't even start reading DC Comics until he got the job. Imagine that.
Why are you even here?
Exactly right. Well, I want this job, but I haven't read anything yet. Well, read this now, and you're hired.
You know what? Yeah, I don't blame him though. I blame the people that hired him.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm
There you
saying?
go.
Like,
That's
yeah,
true, too.
it ain't his fault that he was incompetent and they brought him in. You know what I'm saying?
They should have smelled that right away if they knew he didn't know anything about comics.
Well, they felt that he was kind of a yes man, so they just wanted somebody in place.
You're right.
That hey, that will follow Toby Emmerich's, rule of law. So,
Get some Supergirl and Batgirl, Justice League, and forget, Batman, Superman.
and how much could you read of DC Comics? What, in a week?
You can't. That's
what 70 years of history? Like how many? But was he reading Wonder Twins during that time?
He's remembering Wonder Twins.
Oh, Hour Man.
Those Wonder Twins.
Hour Man. You're Hour Man. There you go.
That's why he was obsessed with Hour Man, because he was reading them every hour.
Yeah. This Hour Man's pretty good.
Like, did he read only Jeff Johns comics? You just gotta wonder, man. Like,
oh yeah, he was pushed in that direction.
Jeff was like, "Hey, read my comic, okay? Star Girl, right?" So you just gotta wonder, was he just sitting there reading all of Jeff Johns?
All the current, but all that classic lore. He didn't even bother to go into.
No, I mean, just what a waste. Zazzub has to really catch up with.
Yes, he does.
With all this stuff now, and
well, it's been a week of scoops confirmed for you guys.
God, it's been insane. Sill's rocking it, man. I mean, we're a two-headed monster now.
Hey, Mikey, I've been seeing these people sweep this Werewolf by Night thing under the rug, though. Like, they ain't even trying to bring this up. I remember you saying that Werewolf by Night.
I do too.
Drop. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, you know why? Because it's not DC. It's the DC ones. They're gatekeepers.
Oh yeah.
Right. So they want to be the kings of the hill of the DC world. Yeah. They're anti-Snyder. So whatever anti-Snyder information they can come up with, they'll do anything to battle Silonai, because they don't want the Snyderverse to be restored at all.
They're battling reality at this point.
God, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, because you don't really get too much pushback from the MCU crowd for the most part, right, Mikey?
No, and it's funny because the only time I got a lot of flack from the MCU crowd was from the very beginning, was the whole Spider-Man thing.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
And a lot of the scoopers were really angry that I scooped all of them. And like, who this guy from Facebook out scooping us, right? Like, who the hell is this dude? And then what made it worse, guys, was when I took the W for Tom Holland coming back.
Oh yeah.
I got all that publicity, right, when I was on the front page of Yahoo. Like, some guy on Facebook said Tom Holland's coming back, and all the scoopers saying that's bullshit. It's the door's closed. Like comicbookmovie.com was saying, like, cry fanboy cry, he's never coming back. Comicbook.com did a hit piece on me, which made me actually sound cool. They said that this guy has more origins than Batman. Really? I do? That sounds cool. I want to meet this guy. Who's this guy that has more origins than Batman? Trying to discredit me, right? And then when a few weeks later, it became official that Tom Holland was coming back. A lot of my followers, I'm not on Twitter, but they went on Twitter and started saying Mikey was right, and like trolling all these other scoopers.
Yeah.
And that's when all hell broke loose. Like
They got real mad, huh?
They got real mad. But I really don't get much flack from the whole Marvel thing. I think because I have all that Spider-Man stuff behind me. Andrew and Tubby was mine as well. Fox Disney was mine. I mean, there's so many receipts. But I think where it is, Necron, they don't want the Snyderverse restored at all.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
You know,
and that's, I mean, like Sky said, you're just fighting reality at this point. It's so
and they spent so many years. Again, this all the length of time too. They spent the last 2 years bashing Snyder, saying he's never coming back, and now they can't take the L on this. It's really humiliating. You know.
I don't know why people have like such staunch positions. It's like, oh my God, it's never gonna happen, and then it's like, when it ends up happening,
why you got people 4K? You got people who say, "Well, I talked to him, and they're happy what they're doing at Netflix, and they don't want to come back and all this shit."
Yeah, he's moved on. Yeah, right. Yeah, I moved on, but I'm gonna post this photo of Ben Affleck as Batman. But I moved on though. Watch Rebel Moon.
I want to screen Zack Snyder's Justice League and not Army of the Dead.
Yeah,
because I moved on.
like, however much money Zack made from Netflix is nothing compared to what he'll make when he's like fully back and getting profit participation from Justice League sequels. I mean,
you can only do so much with Netflix.
Yeah, only so much. I mean, look, they're having financial issues as well. So.
I mean, there's Rebel Moon's going to kick ass. We all know that. It's going to be killer. But we're talking Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Some of the biggest IPs out there in the world.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna
There's a reason why these people do superhero movies, guys.
Yeah.
Besides the love for it, but
they have a lot of times they have these contracts where they have certain things that are tied to box office performance, right? Home video performance, right? And so those are whole other streams of revenue that aren't even possible with him being on Netflix. So
yeah,
we're just gonna keep it at that.
Hey, Netflix was smart, taking them when they did. I would, if you were a business, that'd been a great move, and they were smart. But
yeah, and I think Rebel Moon will be huge for Netflix, but not as big as Man of Steel 2. I'm sorry, but it just when you have an IP the whole world knows, it's kind of different.
Yeah. It's not just a fan of a director. It's a fan of the IP of Superman.
The IP is of the history of Superman. We're talking about 1938. Like your grandparents, your great grandparents grew up on Superman. They remember George Reeves back in the 50s. I mean, that's multi-generational.
You can go almost anywhere in the world and say, who's this? And if it's a picture of Superman, they're going to know who it is.
Yeah.
One of the most recognizable symbols on planet Earth, It's like, what are you going to do, man? Like, that's why I don't understand why, like, they really dropped the ball with some of these IPs. And, they have a golden opportunity here to kind of make up for it. So we shall see.
Yeah, I was told they just didn't, well, Hamada especially, and Emmerich didn't understand Superman. And when they felt that, Man of Steel should have been $1 billion film, you know what? If inflation, it's $1 billion film now. It would have been.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and let's face it, people were still stuck on Christopher Reeve when that film came out. I mean, it did pretty well. It did well enough for it to do Justice League, right? But I think when Man of Steel 2 comes out in 2024, I think it'll be humongous,
and there was also a little bit of resentment too, because if you remember, this was coming off the heels of the Christopher Nolan trilogy, and people were like, we just did this with Batman, so now you guys are gonna turn around and try to do this with Superman too. There was also that kind of stigma as well. So that movie had a bunch of stuff kind of working against it.
It had an uphill battle.
Well, they didn't want to do Wonder Woman either. I mean, it was Zack that really pushed for Wonder Woman. They sat on that for the longest time, dude. Remember, it almost became a TV show for a little while there. Then that didn't get picked up either. So how can you like have these billion-dollar IPs and not doing anything with them? That's what when I heard that Zaza was involved in this merger, and I was hearing all stories about him. He was already talking DC, and I was scooping it until the show. I said, "So, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are his priority." And I was saying this before anybody else did, and all the datas were like, "No, how do you know he likes pimple popping stuff?" I'm like, "See, that is the feedback I got, guys. Was like, well, Zaza doesn't care about Superman. All he cares about his pimple popping shows." What pimple pop? I don't watch Discovery. I have no idea, right? So just they keep bringing the betas, keep bringing that up, dude. Now all of a sudden they're like moving the goalposts. Well, he likes Superman, of course, yeah, because he said it already. Like try scooping it before you say it publicly,
Right? Don't
Remember
come
that
out with a
meeting?
scoop after it's public.
What IPs did he address in the shareholders meeting? Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
Yep, the Trinity. That's what I said on Soul's show like years ago. I said, so 3 characters that DC has been sitting on, and I think they had Wonder Woman. But it took forever to get that Gal Gadot movie out.
Yeah.
And same thing with like how many years now since Man of Steel? It's been over a decade now.
Well, see, what's cool too, but now people are hungry for Superman because it's been so long, and we already know who Superman is, so we don't have to introduce some new character. I mean, not some new actor in the role. We got Superman back.
Well, think about this, guys. When Spider-Man was in Civil War, that was my scoop, by the way. I scooped Spider-Man in Civil War. That was way before anybody else, right? And people thought I was, people on Facebook thought I was full of it, right? Like, it's never going to happen. No, Spider-Man's going to be in Civil War. What happened was Feige already put him in the film before he got the rights, and he would just take him out of the script if it didn't work out. So, like, Feige wastes no time, man. He wastes no time. Mm-hmm. So he wouldn't sit on Superman for 10 fucking years, man.
Who does that? Your top one of your top IPs? I don't want to mess with that. It's too much.
That's what I hear. I hear, like, if Feige has Superman, there's no way he would have benched him for this long. There's no way. That's like saying, you know what, Downey, take a break from Iron Man. We don't need you anymore.
Yeah. What a horrible idea.
That is like them having the rights to Spider-Man and not using Spider-Man. Like,
bingo.
It would be just as
and look, they went through all that trouble to get Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And you guys have your guys. All you gotta do is just film it.
All under one roof this entire time.
And all you have to do is, okay, Marvel Studios, whether you are a fan or not, they listen to the fans. Like, you guys want Charlie Cox Daredevil? We'll put him in every show we have. Even if he doesn't fit, we'll put him in. Because you guys want it.
Yeah.
We'll put, like, they were chomping at the bit to use Charlie Cox. They put him in She-Hulk, which worked out good. I thought it was good. But that's how much they listen to the fans, right? We're not going to sit here and stun these characters. We have the rights already. Let's put the Kingpin in Hawkeye. Why wait for the Daredevil to put him in?
Yeah.
You guys want to see this?
Marvel, no. I mean, even like when back in the 80s, when there was a crossover or another character popped up in a comic, that was exciting.
Yeah.
We were like, or when you see those little side notes at the bottom of the page, oh god, yeah, Avengers, West Coast Avengers number 9. So you had to run down to the store again and go buy another damn comic.
Hey, it was brilliant. And I kind of learned from that in a way. Necron with the Scoop Jam. It's like, okay, listen to. After seeing this video, go watch Lords of the Long Box. Like the second part. That comes from Marvel. That comes from the little note at the bottom. Like, I learned all my marketing from Marvel and Stanley. So there you go.
Hey, we have a question from Leon for you,
Yeah.
Mikey. He wants to know any chance WBD would partner up with Netflix to distribute Rebel Moon.
Unlikely. Yeah, because they passed on Rebel Moon. So.
Oh, well, there you go. Not happening.
Speaking of those crossovers and stuff, like I used to love when they did the Spider-Man and X-Men crossovers with the cartoons.
Oh, dude,
that's pretty
awesome.
dope.
Yeah, see, it was always exciting. Or when
and if you
Punisher
guys
came out
are
in Spider-Man or something, you know.
Oh yeah, okay, that was hilarious. You know, if you guys love the X-Men cartoon from the 90s, well, the movies that are coming are heavily influenced by that.
Sweet.
Again,
There you go.
And hey, you guys want the 90s X-Men cartoon? We'll continue it. We'll give you X-Men 90s just for you guys.
Perfect.
That cartoon still stands up though.
Yeah,
it does. It does. You know,
good.
because they were faithful to the comic books, right? I mean, it was faithful as it gets, and they had multi-part storylines, which it was kind of not a regular thing back then. It was not common to do that, you know. Because hey, kids are watching. Can they follow this for multiple? No, they can't.
Oh, sure.
And those kids grew up and watched the movies, you know. So
I'm still excited for this Tomb of Dracula miniseries, man. I'm loving the monster.
Oh, you mean the R-rated Tomb of Dracula series?
Yes, I do mean the R-rated.
Did I just drop a bomb? I think I just. Yeah, it's MA. Yeah.
So it's going to be in color.
Yes, it'll be in color.
So that blood will be red.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I know, right? Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Sure. So what y'all think of that? They're going to go R-rated with the MonsterVerse.
I think you have to. You know, what's the MonsterVerse without getting into that goriness, the R-rated side of things? So it's a must.
And they figure, hey, it's just violence anyway.
Yeah, you know, Dracula has to be R-rated at this point.
Although, if you like, been watching Andor, I'm loving Andor, but they had sexual situations on Andor. It's like, did I just see that? I mean, it was tame, but for Star Wars, it's like
no, Andor. I was telling someone Andor is like Star Wars set in real life.
Yeah, that's a good comparison, actually.
Yeah, it's like, you know, real life Star Wars. You're not dealing with the Force and all these other things. This is, you know, if you were under the rule of the Imperial Empire, that's probably how life would be.
Yeah, it just reminds me of like late 70s, early 80s sci-fi, like Outland, the Terminator, even as well. Blade Runner, especially Blade Runner.
I do get that vibe on that.
Yeah, everything is kind of run down, like really run down, more so than Star Wars. Like everything looks used, right? Like and greasy. Everything looks greasy and used. You know?
Everything's on its last leg, barely works.
Yeah, it's got a hooker. There are hookers on that show. Like what? What is she offering? And oh my gosh, she is offering. Like, like Star Wars growing up, man.
Yeah.
First episode in the nightclub, and that girl, you know, digital display of a girl dancing.
Yeah, this is the Ewoks, man. This is.
Are the Ewoks gonna get it on now?
Ewoks gonna be pimping.
Hey, I would love to see that actually.
Hey, no judgment if you're into the whole furry thing. No judgment.
Oh no. Oh no!
You just called you out, Necron. No judgment if you're into the furry thing.
Oh, you like furries? Check this out. Here comes the
Ewok. I have. I saw the holiday special, Star Wars holiday special, the only time that it was on TV. And even back then, I was disappointed, right? But I haven't seen it since. We're talking like 78, so I don't know, almost 40 years. But apparently, guys, if you guys have seen it recently on YouTube, my memory just does not ring a bell to this. There's they're watching a Wookiee porn movie in there. Is that true?
I don't remember that.
like a part of me feels like going on YouTube, but I can't sit through it, man, because it's just it's horrible.
I don't want to Google search that, Mikey. That leads to a different raw thing.
Were they watching it or something? What's going on?
Were they watching Wookiee porn? Like, I don't want to look up. I can't look up Google image, man. I'm afraid I might see something weird that I don't want to look at.
Hey, but now we know why he might be called Chewie.
What's bad?
Yeah.
Laugh it up, Fuzzball.
Back it up, Buzzball.
Oh no!
Let the Wookiee win.
Yeah, let the Wookiee win.
We're
You
going
wanna
down
know
a
why he's
rabbit hole
called
Hey,
now.
he like leans back like this, right?
Uh-oh.
We're moving into the witching hour now, buddy.
Yeah.
You're either gonna get more subs now or less because of this conversation here.
Yeah. I think my fans might like this.
Okay, Socks is asking a very tough question there, Socks.
Let's see here.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Oh shit! You know what? I just remember it was Boba Fett when I was a kid and Boba Fett came out, and I thought he was awesome. So
you know what, Necron, I think that puts it over the edge on that. That Boba Fett cartoon was cooler than that Reeves Batman.
Right?
it is.
Mikey couldn't even get that shit out without laughing, right? He's like,
I was like, what's gonna happen? What?
And if there's Wookiee, if there's Wookiee porn in there, then it's definitely better than that.
You're not kidding.
Look,
I think I could watch that over the Batman.
probably.
I think I could do it.
Probably.
Oh, man.
Yo, I gotta dip out though, guys. You know what I'm saying? I got some stuff that I gotta take care of. Yo, it's been a pleasure being on this panel with y'all. Thanks for having me on, Necron.
No worries, bro. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it, man.
Super Bro Corey, you already know. Much respect, much love, sir. Hashtag my favorite Hamsmith. And to the illustrious Mikey Sutton, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, and Sky, thank you for purchasing Dreamwalker, by the way. I'm glad you got your copies.
Oh, man, you already know. That's all the
time. So much
fun.
Oh,
yeah, we need to plug that on my channel.
Yeah.
Mikey does a comic book called Dreamwalker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you need to go
I
purchase
would
it.
show you guys, but they're like in the other room. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I was kind of asking questions about, like, you know, Mikey's involvement and love for that monster comics, because we're kind of seeing some stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm writing one. I mean, there's a lot of monsters in there, and Necron is going to be a monster, and Skywalker is more of an alien than a monster. Him and his 6 arms, and by the way, I might as well announce that I've told Skywalker privately about this. I'm going to do a mini-series called Sky and Savage, which has Skywalker and the Savage Bat in space. Savage Bat is looking for his cure, which he didn't get in the Silver and Gold mini-series. And what's going to happen here is that the whole book, the whole 6-issue, now you know how long it is, Sky. The 6-issue limited series. Sky and Savage are drunk in space the whole time. And they're trying to get this antidote, and they end up starting a bunch of intergalactic wars because they're totally wasted.
Of course, they're starting wars.
Imagine that.
Just like, what would happen if 2 dudes get stinking drunk, go in space, and you're trying to steal something, but they end up like running afoul of all these planets and everything, starting a whole bunch of wars. And I just find it so absurd. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, okay, I gotta write this. You know, so imagine an R-rated Star Wars completely drunk. That's exactly
it sounds great.
So the way I'm running Skywalker and Savage is like Han Solo and Chewbacca, and that's kind of. But if they were wasted,
beautiful.
So,
that's gonna be good.
So, I'm having a blast writing you, Skywalker. So just saying.
Yo, no, look, he told me a couple days ago,
Yeah.
when I found out, like, I literally was just smiling from ear to ear, Mikey is so dope, and this whole Dreamwalker project has changed my life. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Like, and I told him, like, he put such a smile on my mom's face. It's like, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
So,
I love hearing that. I mean, it's just,
yeah.
and it's inspiring using my friends as models for these characters.
That is so cool and unique to our the Seal Nation.
It is. It's unique. I
movement.
think. I mean,
It's so cool.
having characters modeled after YouTubers, and I think it kind of set the tone with issue 2 because Reggie Collects is in there. TiVo from Lords of the Long Box, Silla's in there. So it really kind of sets the stage for what I'm about, the insanity I'm about to unleash in the next couple of years. And, we're gonna go crazy, guys, and wait till I introduce Necron.
I'm excited for that one.
That's gonna be crazy.
Galaxy Gangsters, the drunken tales of Sky and Savage.
Yeah. I want to make Necron like the coolest universal monster that never existed. That's kind of like I'm modeling him after, like the way he's gonna walk like Frankenstein. So I just really want to get that. Werewolf by Night is again influencing me as well. So, but I figured, I'm gonna put all my horror influences, but Skywalker is gonna bring up my Star Wars. But Star Wars meets Cheech and Chong is what it is.
Beautiful. I'm still trying to figure out which one's Chewie, which one's Han between Savage and Sky.
Is that a question?
Well, which one of you guys are watching some, some Chewie porn,
Well, I'm Han Solo, bro.
No, yeah, Sky's definitely Han Solo. He's a leader.
I figured
I'm Han Solo.
Savage is watching some Wookiee porn. There you go.
He would.
he definitely would. So I have to mention that to him on Andor tomorrow.
I want to make him as different from Man Bat as possible because it's like. So I said was, you know what? I'll make him an albino bat. He's like he's English,
Hey, look.
Makes it funnier even,
I know you gotta go, bro.
You gotta go.
I gotta dip out, y'all. Hey, much love and appreciation. Man. You guys are so amazing.
Thank you, buddy.
And Mikey, I'm gonna put that together. What I was talking to you about earlier. Man.
Awesome.
We gotta do that. That's like,
That's exactly what it's like.
All right, you guys. Much
See
love.
You, buddy.
Thank you, Skywalker. Take care, man.
Bye, bud.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that sounds like fun though, man.
I just remember when I was in seventh grade, my teacher at the time, when you're in school, you get like they call free time, right? So instead of going out on recess, you spend the time inside the class.
Yeah.
So she gave us free time, to do whatever you wanted, right? So some of the kids played D&D, like 82. She had a record player in there, and she brought some records, and so she brought a Cheech and Chong record, dude. I couldn't believe it. Like
to the class.
Because
that's hilarious.
It's like, okay, guys, lock the door in case the principal walks in and catches us listening to this, right? I'm like, holy shit, So, and I know who they were. I sat up in smoke, right? So I know who they were, and so, but the kids had no idea what was about to play. So, dude, we open up the take out the vinyl, and a joint pops out.
Nice.
Like. My teacher's like, put it back inside, quick. Like, okay, put the joint back. It was a nasty record, man. We were just dying, man. And then we heard a knock on the door, and it was a principal. Like, holy shit, put the record away. So we put the record away, and he walks in, and all he does is walk. He walks in the classroom on he enters the right side and walks to the left side. He just says nothing. He just walks through, and which we thought was even more hilarious, right? Then we put this nasty Cheech and Chong record on there again. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with their records, but they had a game show skit in this one. It was nasty. It was so nasty. Like, oh my god.
Kids listening to that back then.
Oh
That's
my
like
god.
super shocking from back then.
It was.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
she would get fired now, or
Yeah,
arrested for
back then that would have
yeah.
been a like, you let my kids listen to
Oh
what?
yeah.
Yeah.
There was a fake ad in there where I think it was Sean goes, "Do you have a big dick?" we had this politically incorrect school, Necron. It was run by ex hippies. This was never happened now. There was a
Isn't that weird, Mikey? Like how even though we're more liberal on some things, we've gotten so more conservative on others.
big time,
It's
right?
weird.
But the same people too, the same kind of people, the so-called liberals, or they were actually more conservative socially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so there was a painting of a marijuana leaf on the where they kept all the gymnasium equipment at, and they kept it there for years. I was there from 80 83. Yeah, and it was never painted over. They kept it there, and we actually used it as a way of directions. If you want to find a supply room, it's to the right of the marijuana plant. And
hey, it works.
It works, right? And there was no scandal, no controversy over it. I'm sure school is much cleaned up now. Actually, I saw a video of it. This looks nothing like when I was there.
Yeah.
But we had a music class, Necron. You would have loved this. They would teach us, guitar chords and everything.
Uh-huh.
One of the songs they taught us was "Big Balls" by AC/DC.
It's an easy one to play, though. It makes sense.
And so I remember. Okay, my last day there. It was a couple of days before Return of the Jedi opened. And the reason why I remember this, I was there opening day Return of the Jedi. I actually got out of school to see it opening day. Right. So but our teacher, this perverted math teacher we have, and he really was. She really was. I mean, we all knew.
Okay.
But anyway, he showed us some movies, right? Because it was free time. He showed us movies in the library, and he showed us a Sonny Chiba movie. It was a kung fu film, completely unedited, right? It was violent as hell, right? And
Wow.
so he showed us the Omega Man with Charlton Heston.
That's a good one.
Which was the original version of that Will Smith movie that he did. But I never saw it uncut before, right? This was the first time we saw it unedited. There was nudity in that movie, and I just remember like when they flashed the nudity, we looked over at our teacher, the pervert, and he was grinning ear to ear, man.
Mikey,
like,
dude, it was up, yeah.
Back
Back then, dude, it was so hard to find nudity. Like we didn't have these phones where you could just punch it in. It's like a miracle for like a young teen boy to see a boobie.
You remember the scrambled TV,
scramble vision on cable? Yep.
Yeah.
Those were the days back then.
Y'all are the reason why these rules were created for us younger generations.
Yeah,
so,
I guess we ruined it because we were trying to figure out how to get past the safeguards. Austin's mom wished he went to Mikey's school. Are you there, Mikey? We lose you. Well, anyway, yeah, it was so weird how some things are more conservative now than back then. But,
yeah, it's so different now.
Your dad pulling up in the car with a 6-pack already open, 2 thrown in the back seat, drunk already. That's how it went.
Oh man, it's just I don't know. I really Casey, I have no idea what it was like. When you could just freely do all sorts of craziness in school. Where my teacher would let us play D&D inside the classroom. I mean. And that cool. was when D&D was dangerous. Like remember all the warnings, satanic panic. There you go. You remember you were there at that time. I mean, and so
I was always getting sent home for my T-shirts from metal bands. I'd forget, what they would say on the back. And my Dark Angel T-shirt used to piss them off because it said "Paris in Flames, Die in Hell" on the back. And I take off my leather jacket in class and put it, and then they call you up to the chalkboard and you're like, okay, and you're going up and they're like, what's your shirt say? Yeah, Paris in Flames, Die in Hell, Dark Angel, great record. To the principal's office right now. I was like, oh man, I would always be getting sent home.
Oh man, I remember. You remember the heavy metal movie cartoon that came out? You remember the poster with
course.
Tarna holding a
Yeah.
sword? So I drew a picture of my history teacher holding a giant pencil, and instead of a bird, he's on top of a textbook. And I wrote Heavy Yellen. His name was Yellen, so but Heavy Yellen. And then I would have little descriptions on the side like boring and dry, monotone, and this would get you kicked out of school or something or suspended by now, right? And I had that, and that was my book cover on on the history book, and he saw it. He just laughed. It's like no big deal,
Yeah. Some things though, like were like you could just get away with, because like some, and it too, it just depend on the person. Like that was that one teacher who didn't like any of that stuff. Other teachers didn't care. My music teacher would be like, "What is that? Dark Angel. Tell me about that." She was a former hippie, and,
You were basically John Bender in Breakfast Club, huh?
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Eat my shorts.
I remember a classic, dude. I went to the restroom and me and my friends smoked out. And I came back to the class and I was high as fuck, right? And the teacher calls me up to the board and he goes, man, we have gone off course from Werewolf by Night. But anyway, the teacher calls me up to the board and he goes, Carl, whatever. I was in science, right? And I didn't remember shit. I'm writing something and he goes, you're doing it wrong. And I turn around and I go, what? Burp. And when I burped, just all this smoke came out of my mouth. And then the class is like, ah. And he's like, sit down, Snyder. I was like, fucked up. That was terrible.
Oh man. I have to go in a minute. I just want one more little bit of story time here. So, 8th grade, again, you'll never see this now. So my teacher had all these books that we could look at, during the breaks and everything, and they were from like film books. She figured we were all into movies and everything. So she had this film book in there, and I was flipping through it, and there's a chapter in there, Necron, devoted to A Clockwork Orange. Have you guys seen The Clockwork Orange, with Stanley Kubrick movie?
Yeah, I seen it. You gotta see it, Corey. It's okay. It's great.
Oh yeah, it's a great film, one of the greatest. And the pictures from A Clockwork Orange are full frontal nudity. Seriously, with the bush and everything, and I'm like, holy shit, she's got, So all of us were taking turns, like with the book, like, oh my god, and back then, you scramble vision, you have to wait for that 1 second where you can see the whole picture, and hopefully there's nudity in that picture that you saw. So this book is like it was in color. I mean, it was like bush in color, like, oh my god, like all freaking out, And somebody told, like, but it was like we already get sick of the book by then. We already memorized it in our heads already. So. But she was one of my inspirations. She would carry books that our library would ban. So if they banned the book, she'd carry it and like, here, you can check it out with me. And then she would let me borrow all these books. She goes, here, read this, full of gore. You'll love it.
Nice.
And so that's how I got into Stephen King and Ramsey Campbell and Whitley Strieber, all these people. That
so cool.
Eventually, decades later, found itself influencing my Dreamwalker. You notice how gory issue 2 was. That's kind of my roots there.
There you go.
Anyway, guys, I gotta get going. But Necron, what a blast it was to be here tonight. I just needed a break from writing the site. So, Corey, nice meeting you, and see you guys later, guys.
Yeah, Mikey, we'll see you later.
Thanks, Mikey.
Take care, buddy.
Coming by. Bye bye. Well, that was great, dude.
Yeah.
Mikey coming by, blowing our minds.
Absolutely, man. Woo,
rated R Tomb of Dracula special.
That's
what do you
exciting.
think of that?
That's absolutely exciting.
Yeah.
That's it's huge. I was kind of surprised. This was PG-14. Was it 14
I,
or
I
13
think
or whatever? TV 14, whatever the hell.
whatever it is,
Werewolf
yeah.
by Night
It
is.
wasn't TV mature or anything like that, and
Yeah.
it wasn't rated R. So,
Yeah. So.
well, like I said earlier, I think you can get away with that because it was black and white. The blood was black. It wasn't red. If the blood's red, that does something to the ratings or something. If there's like excessive blood or whatever.
Yeah. So, it definitely it's piqued my curiosity with a like TV mature R-rated. I feel vampires. It's just going to have to be. Although I'm really digging this 1930s horror film that they're vibing with. It makes me curious. What the next. Because how many episodes is Werewolf by Night? Is it?
No, that was it.
That was it. Okay.
Yeah. It's a one-off special.
Okay, I thought there was like a 3 or 4 part series to this.
Damn!
So that was it?
Yes, sir. Well, that's a shocker, right? Because you want more after watching that. That's good. That will get us more, because I think they were probably experimenting, seeing how this goes over with people. Obviously, it's a one-off. See how it does. And it did well. I think it kicked ass. I was surprised they went with the whole Wolfman look, and not just because the modern werewolves are usually in that howling style, and I was like, and they pulled it off. I was like, hey, this is cool. I cannot stop. They captured the tone of the comic. Of course, they changed some things. That's how the comic was. He's always in these little one-issue adventures. They didn't do a lot of continuous stories over. I mean, they did, but it was a lot of issues where you could read that issue and that was it for that story. It was like the werewolf gets caught. This one was one of my favorites. I know I'm deep diving. I was like, it kind of remind me of what happened tonight, but they get stuck in a haunted house. That the person is possessed by a demon in a haunted house, and the only one that can protect them throughout the night for all the shit this demon throws at them is the werewolf. Wow. Yeah, so he's fighting with all these, and I was like, imagine we can get something like that in the future.
Yeah.
Their only chance of survival is the werewolf fighting with these demons and creatures this guy summons and shit.
Absolutely. Damn, man, I'm you sure there's no more?
No, no, that's why they put that whole special thing at the beginning.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Damn, buddy, I'm looking here. It says 91. I know we don't follow IMDb ratings and stuff like that, but Rotten Tomatoes is giving it a 91% right now.
We'll see.
7.8 from IMDb. For sure that
Marvel's seeing all this. They're seeing all this YouTube's reactions to it. They watch all this stuff. They know. It's a hit. It's a hit.
Yeah, damn. Because I can't. So now it kind of throws a little curveball into it. Do I want more of that 1930s feel to it all? Can you make a 1930s, vibe in an R-rated movie? Do you think that's possible?
I think I'm sure you could, but will it be as visceral? Because you're not going to see the color of blood.
Yeah.
Retro Nerd Girl says she wants more as long as they keep the tone.
Yes. Absolutely keeping the tone. And it also makes me wonder, because obviously, everybody else is watching this and seeing how well it's doing. What does it open for, the DC universe, and the side of that thing as well. Does this, I know that there's the MonsterVerse, with, some of the other things that are going on, does this help, kick it off the entire, I'm saying all the MonsterVerses combined, because what was it? On the other side, we had the Mummy with Tom Cruise.
Oh, and when Universal was trying to launch that monster. Exactly. Yeah, Leon asked me earlier. Mikey was talking. He was like, MonsterVerse ? Well, I meant MCU MonsterVerse.
Yes.
Not Universal MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
But basically, these classic characters are kind of based on the Universal monsters,
Mm-hmm.
the Marvel monsters. Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman. Well, not zombie. He kind of his own little thing they created, which was like Mikey was talking about. It was a black and white mag called I Zombie. I'm not even sure if he had a comic. It was maybe just been in magazine form, because back then that's how Marvel got around comic code. They would do them in magazine sides, black and white, and they'd have to go through their comic code.
Interesting.
So you would get more mature stories and more violence. Like Savage Sword of Conan, I used to love buying that one because you see Conan like blood flying everywhere, and
Nice.
Conan, getting with the ladies at the end of the story, and they would be drawn topless or something, and for those times that was like, whoa, this is over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, dang man, that's
So I think this, obviously this was just like their first little foot in
mhm.
it to see how it goes. Like let's try this and see, and did it in black and white as a kind of a homage to Universal's heyday of their monsters back in the 30s and 40s. And they pulled it off so well. I,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't rewatch any of the Marvel Plus series. I mean, I'll watch one episode of it, and that's usually it.
Mhm.
I don't need to rewatch any of them. This one, I'll be watching it again this weekend a couple of times. I'm sure I enjoyed it that much.
Yeah. No, that it was a great episode, man. Yeah, and that's it's funny.
So Super Bro's sitting here waiting for next week's episode.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
"No,
man.
what are you telling me?
You're literally killing me right now a little bit, dude. Damn. Because like when you pull it up on like just like a quick search on like Google and stuff, like they say first episode date October 7th, 2021. So immediately in my head, I'm like, oh, it must be like part of a 4-part series or something like that. And or I know it's like a what, but damn, they left me wanting more too at the end as well when it kind of goes into the.
Then they're like, our job is done here.
Yeah.
Do you want any
Damn.
more of the werewolf? Okay. I'm kind of curious though to see the werewolf in color, see how that looks.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a nice thing because the man thing looked great when he went in color.
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
holy shit! Like the mushrooms and shit on him, and I was like, man, they nailed it with him.
Yeah, because there was something unique and something pure and something special about seeing the werewolf, in black and white and having that retro vibe to it all. So would it still hold its weight and scariness and that werewolf creepy vibe if it goes into the color? Because werewolves to me are incredibly tough. It's a uh, it's out there. There's tons of movies out there. Same with vampires. There's tons of vampires out there. Oh yeah. Dude, that's beautiful. Holy shit. I never knew that's what your tattoo was.
That one's a
It's
werewolf.
a damn werewolf.
Yeah, I'm a werewolf.
Okay.
Maniac.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I kind of into it. I'm biased.
Absolutely. So I'm typically not very big into like scary movies per se, but I love the Underworld series. And my favorite Underworld movie
Underworld's
is
great. That's fun.
Rise
shit.
of the Lycans. I
Mhm.
love Rise of the Lycans.
That's a good one.
That's probably my favorite one. Easily, yeah. But I just love that werewolf vampire battle. So and the Lycans and werewolves in that look absolutely fierce and insane. So I think with this Werewolf by Night, they did a great job. Still making me like, oh man, this is super awesome.
Yeah,
as a werewolf, lover as well. Yep.
Like we were saying earlier, this is exactly what Marvel needed at this moment. To come out with something edgy. Not no more playing it safe and just for laughs or just it was, I don't know, man. It was straight and to the point. There was no nonsense messaging in it or anything. It was just a kick-ass little 1-hour movie. I want to see more of that again.
Damn. So Blade is not until like November next year, huh?
Yeah. Well, I think Blade is having production problems. The The
Yeah.
director left. They're rewriting it again now. Like they had sets built and everything, and then it fell apart. I don't know what the hell is going on.
I'm not surprised by that because, Wesley Snipes was a beautiful Blade series, in my opinion. No,
Oh,
I
I
love
liked
that
him
shit.
as Blade.
Yeah.
He was great. Yeah, perfect
So
casting.
it's dangerous. It's going to, they're running into, almost like the trouble that people say with the transition of Batman's or the transition of James Bond's. I think we're a little bit more used to the transitioning character to James Bond, but like when Christian Bale was leaving, and Ben
There already
Affleck,
been
yeah,
multiple Batman,
exactly,
where
but
Blade has only been played by Wesley Snipes.
exactly. So
So
it's
that
scary,
that does
right?
that does it's going to be, you're going to get comparisons.
hmm Just like I don't think they could ever remake Deadpool. Like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
Yeah, we say that they probably will try one day, but
hmm
it's going to be a tough sell.
hmm As well as it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Wolverine and everything like that as well. And upcoming, because Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, right? So
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how that's going to work out, but
mhm.
I'm very excited to see. And they made the point that the Logan movie was supposed to be set in 2029 or something. So technically, it ain't 2029 yet.
Deadpool 3.
Yep. I just checked my watch and it is not 2029. Shout out Trey. Retro Nerd Girl says, now Marvel, Disney can see that adult products work. I hope they will continue down this path. I do too. I think we all do. I think we're all in agreement. This was awesome success. If you didn't like She-Hulk, you didn't like Thor: Love and Thunder and all the stuff they've been doing lately, give this Werewolf by Night a chance because it's different. It's kick ass.
Yeah, it's going to leave you wanting more, right? Like, I guess how would you rate it overall, Necron? Would you
Well, I
1 to
always
10
go
scale?
high on my ratings, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will be honest with that. Uh, 9 point. I'm gonna go 9.9. I liked it that much.
Nice.
And what do you think there, Scory?
Yeah,
Scory.
yeah, Story, yeah.
We got good new name.
Yeah, Trey and Necron checked his watch. Oh, checked their watch too.
Nice.
Damn, I'm probably going to go as far as like Marvel one-off television episodes go. This is by far my favorite one. I'm thinking 9.6, 9.6. Yeah.
That's high
So
for you.
yeah, it is high for me. I think the only thing that I'm kind of, my only issues with it was it does want me, like, I'm bummed. I want more. Like, I want to see where, like the story's not over to me. Like it's not finished for me personally. And maybe that's like, damn it, Necron, shit, man, you really broke my heart when you said that this is one episode. Like, literally, I thought we were gonna see, oh sweet, we're gonna see what happens.
What happens next at
Yeah, what happens
the
next?
type of crazy buddy adventures are they going to get themselves into next? And
exactly, that's what I was thinking that we were gonna see next week, and then they'd eventually cross paths again. Damn.
So I guess on what the bomb Mikey dropped is Man Things Next special.
Yeah,
That's what he said, right? That would be the
Yeah.
next Halloween. Like, oh man, a year. Ugh.
We're gonna give it a get a Man Theme special, which
Ooh,
9.8 from Retro Nerd Girl.
wow, Retro, we are thinking alike.
Bat Channel, where you at, big fellow? I'm curious what your
Yeah,
score
Trey.
is too.
Throw in your score in the chat and we'll show it, Trey. Bat Channel.
Yeah. No, damn, dude. That, man, Michael Giacchino, man. He did this well. He captured it.
Well, I mean, you think Trey would want to come on, or is it getting too late? I mean,
No, let's I think we could probably, hey Trey, big fellow.
Well, grab Trey on, then we'll wrap it up. I'm not too. I don't want to go 4 hours here or anything, but let me send him a message here.
Yeah.
We'll have him come on and talk if he wants. If not, it's fine. I get it.
See if he gets out of. I don't know. I would assume he's still up. He's probably getting stuff ready for
There
Andor.
he is.
Oh, yeah, there he is, Trey.
Hey Trey, check your Twitter inbox.
And if you don't have the computer fired up, just jump on with your phone, bud.
Yeah.
I'm laying in bed. Damn it. Run your ass downstairs.
Oh, damn it. You have plenty of time to rest when you're dead. No, I'm just kidding. Well, anyway, Trey went with an 8.6 on Twitter. He didn't give it a 9.
I'm curious.
I want to hear what his negative
damn it, Trey.
are.
I will join another time. There ain't going to be another time, Trey. Pop on your phone real quick. Literally, just do what people do with the little.
You ain't got to cam up. Well, we're not let you cam up.
Yeah. Because now,
unless
you're,
I get it.
Maybe. Wonder Wife's sleeping. We already know she is.
I don't know. I'm not. Maybe she's like, the hell you are getting on.
Yeah, right.
It's the Friday night
you
special.
Want to see a real demon?
Unleash the fury.
But damn, because I'm actually curious what his thoughts are, because Michael Giacchino being a composer and everything like that as well. It's
yeah, and that's what Trey is, right? He likes to compose.
Yeah,
I remember this.
That's why I'm a little. I'm curious why 8.6.
Maybe we'll do a part 2.
I think
we'll follow up with Trey.
I think we might need to because was this Michael Giacchino's first?
Yeah. From what I read, and heard, this is his first directorial debut. Maybe he might have made music videos, but not like a movie or a show or anything.
All right, I'm curious. Let's see here.
I think it's his first, which just in itself is amazing. That he pulled this off on his first try.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So. Werewolf by Night 2022 is his first directed by TV movie. He did a Star Trek Short Treks TV series short, 1 episode, and then he did a Monster Challenge short in 18 and 19. But as far as like TV movie goes,
wow.
and really real direct in my opinion.
Yeah, like his own thing. Yeah,
it's Werewolf by Night, and holy shit, that was.
He did a good job.
And music people, composers, being those artsy, guys as well.
Yes.
And like you were saying earlier, Necron, with how I can't be just, going hard off, headbanging the entire damn time. You're like, eventually my neck's going to start hurting,
Yeah.
You're going to have to slow it down, Necron. And I loved how you kind of
the shock, like you can come like with death metal or black metal or any of that stuff that comes out with what they call blast beats with the constant type of rhythm and all that. It hits hard when you first hear it.
Yeah.
But after 2 or 3, 4 songs if there's no no change in the music, it becomes monotony and just you lose your effect. You got to be able to make peaks and valleys with your music, and that's the same with a movie. You got to be able to take people on an adventure with it,
yes.
Not just constant blast beats. When I was like 15, 16, constant blast beat was like awesome, in the pit, all night. But the general audience isn't going to think like that. Retro Nerd Girl agrees. He did a wonderful job. Okay, DC Talk. He went with a 10 out of 10.
DC Talk.
DC Talk loved it. Good job.
I'm loving these high scores. Yeah, that's so interesting because if you just look at his even his composing side of things, he's in
So shit, I love what he did with the theme.
Yeah,
when it started. That was great. Made it sound scary, but it was the same music. It was just the way it was performed and the way they the choir song and that was excellent with the werewolf swipes through the the intro, the beginning of the this, I guess what we call it, the special, the Werewolf by Night special. So cool. And then the change to black and white. And I like to Bloodstone was always in color in red. They did a lot of cool little things in there.
Right, and I love when people, do that. The only thing that's color is things that they really want you to focus on. Schindler's List with the red coat, going by and everything like that. So it's interesting. Okay, so I'm like looking at his composing rap, and he not really too much in the horror genre. I see he did all of the Fringe TV series. So
so this is like his first foray into the major. That's really cool.
Absolutely. So, All
right, well, let's start wrapping it up, bro.
Yeah, bud. Yeah.
Well, I guess we're kind of giving our final thoughts. Did you want to give your final thoughts?
Yeah, I incredibly impressed by the movie. I think that Michael Giacchino, like we mentioned, did a fantastic job. I think they did a great job overall, just casting everybody too. That it was just really well done. It saddens me so much by knowing that this is just a one-hit episode for right now. Don't be a one-hit wonder. Come back strong. I want to see more Werewolf by Night. I want to see
Marvel monsters grow.
Marvel monsters
supernatural grow. When are we gonna finally get Mephisto? Is this leading to Mephisto now, or can we stop the nonsense and get one of the big bads in the Marvel MCU?
Right. As well as I personally think Midnight Suns would be fantastic to see someday as well.
Midnight Suns, who the heck would they have to gang up to fight? What level threat would that have to be?
Well, I think there's definitely some interesting things that can go on here, because now that we know that it's connected with all of MCU, I think it could be really anything that they want. There's oh man, I don't know.
Retro Nerd Girl making the connections. I thought over the. Oh, go ahead. You read it this time.
Yeah, Retro Nerd Girl said, "I thought Over the Rainbow was a nice touch and nod to the Wizard of Oz at the end. I love that." Woo was another film that Wizard of Oz was another film that started out black and white and then turned color. That's a huge pickup.
Nice nod. And we know it, Retro. Again, I didn't even think of that. You always catch the details. So amazing. Before we go, Austin said 9.8.
9.8 from the good Austin. I'm loving it, man.
The good Austin loves it.
Yeah, it was really well done. It makes me want more of the Marvel Monsterverse, more,
I think Trey's afraid to come on here and give his reasons. Oh!
Is he here?
Look, right before we get doing an Austin. Here we go. I got to shut my mouth.
How's it going, fellas?
What's
up, Trey?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
I was like searching everywhere for a headset.
Is Wonder Wife there?
She's asleep.
We won't keep you long, bro, but let's
call it. So I'm gonna put her to sleep real quick, and then I'm gonna be on real quick.
Go night.
All right, you out now? Later.
She's like, you be back in 10 minutes and rub my feet.
It's the same for all of us. I understand.
How you guys doing?
Very good. This talking about this wonderful Werewolf by Night. Everybody seems to love it, man.
Yeah, dude. And after thinking about it, after sending out my tweet, when I gave it, I think an 8.6, I kept thinking about it after, and I was like, you know what? They really did nail it. Like, literally, my only two gripes was one, I'm right there with Corey with, I wish there was more, and that really bums me out.
But that can't be held against it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's not their problem.
But I think my biggest thing was just like, personally, in terms of just designs and different comic book arts that I've seen of Werewolf by Night. I know they went very classical with it, early 70s.
That's the classic werewolf.
Yeah, which I definitely dig. But part of me was kind of hoping that they would have gone more kind of like what they did with that 2010 Benicio del Toro, the Wolfman film, where it was still very classic Wolfman, but just a little bit more, I think I said ferocious, a little more of a dog snout to it.
No, I like that. I like that one as well as a lot. That's a good Wolfman movie, and he does look very vicious.
Yeah,
He's a vicious looking Wolfman.
Yeah, and I understand why they went with a more human look. Like they were definitely wanting more emotions coming across. The actor to really, come through in his performance.
Do like the facial expressions.
Like, do you think if a super ferocious looking Werewolf by Night would you actually believe that? Oh yeah, I remember that scent. I like you. I don't know if I believe that as much if he was a little more ferocious. Right?
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right about that because, and it's again be silly because I keep going back to it, but even to me it's one of my favorite werewolf designs. The Benicio del Toro Wolfman one, but even at the very end of that movie when they wanted to have this emotional connection with the female character who I think was played by, Emily. It's the person that's married to John Krasinski. I'm totally spacing her name at the moment. But they...
Is it Blunt? Am I getting it wrong? I forget all these.
You might be right. I think it is Emily Blunt. But they have this moment where he's trying to recognize her through the eyes of the Wolfman. And, it's kind of hard to do. He's snarling. The makeup makes him look like he's about to tear her neck out. So they had to really zoom in on his eyes to kind of give you that expression rather than this guy. You were able to see his expression throughout. So it worked out storytelling wise, but I think honestly, guys, I'm probably closer to a 9. I don't know if I'd give it a masterpiece score, but
here's the thing, Trey. This is where I struggle with it.
How many times have you watched it, Trey?
Twice. I watched it
twice.
Both
okay,
tonight.
So okay.
Like Michael, I think as Michael Necron and I were talking about, this is Michael Giacchino's really first attempt at a movie feature production. Not only did he direct it, he was also, like you said, he's a huge composer. I think that as far as first time, he fucking nailed it, dude.
Oh man, and I'm really glad he brought that up, Super Bro, because I was shocked. Literally, I heard something that he was directing something, but I thought it was like some no-name thing. I had no idea it was Werewolf by Night. And, and if anyone would have the right contacts, the people, all the incredible directors that guy has worked with over his composing career, he would be able to pull, you watch enough movies and you're a fan of cinema and you just know how things are supposed to look. Clearly, Michael Giacchino was a huge fan of the classic Universal 1930s, 1940s monster films, and it showed perfectly. Yeah, especially
he did a great homage to all that.
Yeah. Oh, and I love.
And there's
that
only
too.
certain, in black and white, like Corey was saying earlier. You can only get certain type of aura. Not the aura, but atmosphere in black and white that translates well, like kind of smoke at juxtaposition to like graveyards and all that in black and white. It looks really great, and that garden looked great in black and white that they were in the maze.
And they definitely used it to their advantage with the shadowing. You couldn't. It was kind of like Jaws in a sense, where you never got really a full look of the Wolfman until Michael Giacchino wanted you to. And that was it made it scarier. And in a way, part of what makes, a werewolf film so just spectacular, like American Werewolf in London, is like, the transformation scene, seeing how gruesome it is. And I loved in this that he kind of went with a Alfred Hitchcock style of just showing you the shadows, the lightning, the flashes, and you can hear the noises and her, the female character's expressions of just completely terrified of the transformation, and to the point where you didn't need to see it. You didn't need to see something you've kind of already seen before. It was just the cinematography was beautiful, especially in that scene.
Yeah, they didn't go in for the whole, real long extended hair growing, hand stretching, fingernails and teeth coming out, and like you get in a lot of werewolf movies. It was, you're right. It was more the people's reactions. Well, we lost Corey. Trey. But it was more the actors' reactions of it happening sold it.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of going into the actor side of things as well. Like, I don't know if I really recognized anybody who from anything else. Like Gael Garcia Bernal, the guy who played Jack Russell. I don't recall seeing him in a. I don't recall seeing. I don't know any other movies he's in. Laura Donnelly. I don't recall her as an actress in anything that I've ever seen before.
I think that's what Marvel kind of has been doing lately. Besides, they're getting, no names, not be mean, but not top tier actors. More unknown people. So I guess that cost cutting, in a sense, and the other way around. You can get higher production values.
Yeah, and honestly, they didn't need to find big actors for this. I mean, in a way, it was it made the actors be able to make it their own.
It's a Halloween special.
Yeah,
it's a Halloween special, and who would thought it was going to be so good? I was praying to God it's going to be great because I'm a werewolf fan, obviously. But for the the average person who just like, oh, it's Halloween, let's watch something spooky or scary. Mm-hmm. But this isn't like something that's going to really, I think, scare anyone. I mean, it had intense moments, but not like like your typical rated R horror movie where it gets intense or whatever.
Well, I was shocked when I first saw the trailer and I saw the whole black and white thing. I immediately thought like, I've never read the comics. My father-in-law is a huge Werewolf by Night fan, so I'm really curious to hear what he thinks about it when he watches it tonight. But like, the trailer looked great to me, and I'm a huge werewolf fan. You kind of see me in the chat talking about Underworld, the Wolfman, all the classic Universal films. And
did you see that fucking tattoo Necron has earlier?
You have a werewolf tat,
bro?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. One more time.
Oh shit, bro! Holy!
Actually goes up there.
Oh my god, dude!
Kind of a sleeve, really.
That's dope as shit. Holy hell, dude! I need to get a tat so bad. I've always wanted one, but like it's always been like a money thing. Like, I don't know if I want to spend $400 right now on a tat.
Yeah,
but I have
luckily, this guy did mine. His name's John Zig. He's out of Austin. He plays in metal bands and all that. And
nice.
He gave me a nice rate for my tats, so I got lucky. Yeah,
I'll give you a prison tattoo, Trey.
No.
Spiders.
Spiders.
He's gonna give you a teardrop.
Sarah will be really pleased with that. She'd pull out her pocket and her jean pants like, you my bitch now.
So what was your favorite kill of the night for the movie? The Werewolf by Night. Necron. Did you say what your favorite kill was of the entire show there?
For me, it was I don't know if I could say like one, but him just taking out the guards, just ripping through them. Is this show the ferociousness of the Werewolf by Night? How he just took out all these dudes in a matter of seconds. Tore them apart, ripped off their ear and their neck, and slicing and dicing them, and it was excellent. That whole little sequence was great for me.
Those guards were actually part of the reason that I had a feeling that they may be in a setting that was more current time era with their tactical looking helmets and shit like that. I was like, it
was modern tactical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about you, Trey? Kill of the night?
Man, I don't know. There were so many like memorable kill scenes in there. Like I think the first one that really caught my eye was I'm totally spacing the girl character, the
Elsa?
Bloodstone, Elsa
the
Bloodstone.
daughter. No,
Yeah, the
she
daughter.
took out that one dude. Great.
Yeah, when she chopped off his hand and like started using
Oh, the
it as a
Orin,
weapon,
yeah.
like that was the moment where I was like, oh my god, Marvel's going hard on this, and you know what? I'm here and all for it. So props for them for that scene because that was just beautifully choreographed. You know, like you said, Necron, the Wolfman scene when he was getting electrocuted in the cage, and then there's the fog and he jumps out. You know, it's like to me that was like such a great, just like perfect scene.
I was saying earlier in the stream, like how he would jump and crouch and all that. It was like straight out of the comics. The way they would draw him when he would leap and hang on. Like he was jumping on the around the ceiling through the stuff and fully out of the comic. I was like, oh yeah, they got some inspiration for sure. They were reading the comics.
And I have to give a shout out to our guys that I get all my comic books from at Hall of Justice here in Colorado. My friend John, who owns the store, he is a huge like Aquaman, Swamp Thing, Man Thing fan. And I can only imagine that he probably was jumping out of his seat with all those Man Thing scenes. Like, holy hell, like that was just so cool. He was just freaking burning people up, with fear and awesome.
I agree with what Retro Nerd Girl says. Verussa was awesome, and that was actually that was my favorite kill when Man Thing just straight up zapped her ass to
burns her. Yeah.
Boom.
He incinerates too when he burns you. It's a quick.
Yeah.
It's
great.
Yeah.
It was so terrible.
But you're right. When Leorin got his hand chopped off, like I even went like, oh shit, like
you're not expecting that from a Marvel, right?
No. Yeah. That's why I was like, oh fuck. This is,
when she killed the Ziggy Stardust looking David Bowie guy too. Like, that was a good kill too. The slice and then the right in the forehead.
So cool.
I'm seeing this on Marvel finally.
Right. I remember saying
there's going to be a rated R Batman movie one day, I bet.
Right. I remember saying to my wife, when that first, blood scene happens, I didn't even like believe it because it's a Marvel thing. I was just like, was that blood? And she was like, I don't know. And then also you just see it dripping.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit.
That. I can see that. Like, was that supposed to be blood? Because this is Marvel, right? They never show blood.
Yeah, exactly. And man, just I don't know how Michael Giacchino got Kevin Feige or whoever. If Kevin Feige was, I remember a certain quote that he said to Oscar Isaac about Moon Knight in an interview, and Oscar Isaac was saying like he couldn't believe that Kevin Feige and Marvel were letting them do some of the things in that show. And Kevin Feige said, Oscar is just like, bro, this is Moon Knight. You have to be this way. So I imagine it was probably a similar conversation with Michael Giacchino about this. Like, this is Werewolf by Night. It's supposed to be violent.
Yeah. I mean, you can't do Marvel Monsters and try to tone it down. It will be lame.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to match the character, You don't need Spider-Man ripping people's arms off or, any of that. But Werewolf by Night, you do.
If they Disney Marvel, monsters, I would have been upset. This was such a sweet surprise.
And it's also going to prepare people for things like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Get over it. It's going to happen. There's going to be violent Marvel movies.
Yeah. And it's not to say that they didn't keep to the Marvel formula either. They hit hard when they needed to, and then they added the comedy when they needed to. Now, I did appreciate, normally what I give Marvel a lot of shit for is that sometimes they don't let like scenes that are very emotionally impactful take effect. They
try to counter it with a joke. Yeah.
Yeah, and that always pisses me off because sometimes you need those moments. You need moments to tear up a bit. And I mean, with Man Thing, I loved how he was this badass. He was a scary character, but then you add that moment of, it's Todd, Ted.
Yeah, Ted.
And just like he's still a badass character, and like, but now you add this little bit of an element to him.
Shout out to the singer of my band, Hod, one of my other bands. He's a freaking big Man Thing fan. So
nice.
He's gonna
rock
love
out,
it.
Hod.
That's cool, man. Man, I'm telling you, Necron, we need to start posting those videos of you and rocking out. Man, I'd love to see your band, man.
Oh yeah, if you go deeper on my channel, there's some videos of my bands.
Oh, is there? Okay, well that's
you just
happening.
gotta go down, back in the past. They're there.
Okay. You gotta swing on by during the witching hour. He'll literally melt your fucking face right off.
When I'm playing the jams.
Yeah.
Hey, it's called witching hour for a reason,
Yeah.
I'm telling you up front, this is gonna be some heavy stuff.
I can't wait for that.
Hot takes is this me nerding out. Like this is a hot takes episode.
Yeah, no, and I'm really glad. Like Necron, oh gosh, we were talking about Black Adam the other day, and you popped on the Bat Channel, and I actually wasn't planning on watching Werewolf by Night right away. I was honestly going to save it probably closer towards, Halloween, getting closer there, and then I probably would have watched it. But you talking about it inspired me to check it out earlier, and I am super, super glad that I did, because
you'd have been late to the party, man. If you waited to Halloween, yeah.
Well, I figured I was going to catch all 4 episodes or whatever.
You're going to binge them.
Yeah.
Imagine you would have made your night.
I said the same thing, Corey. Like the episode ended, I was like, "Oh man, like what a great, like this is gonna be a damn good show." And then I saw them say the end, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Well, they call it an episode. You think like, "Oh, it's an episode. I'm going to get another one." So
I gotta shout this out. Retro Nerd Girl, I really love the Witching Hour. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate anybody from Still Nation that comes over and watches that stuff, because that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Retro Nerd Girl's awesome.
She's I always say it, like when I found out Retro Nerd Girl was like a part of this community, I like kind of geek, like I got geeky and fanboyed out a little bit, because I was like, I used to watch retro like months. Honestly, it's probably like over a year ago that I was like watching some of her reviews, and it was actually Underworld that was the first review I watched of hers. And I was just like, oh man, she's like, she does like fantastic reviews in a way that I haven't really seen anyone else do. And I just think the world of her channel, and it's just awesome to have this part of our community.
Not worthy is how I feel. Her shows are so good and
they're not worthy.
Well put together. I mean, it's a presentation.
Yeah.
If you go to Retro and watch her videos, you're gonna get info you thought you knew everything about something or a movie. And I'm like, holy crap, I didn't know that.
Retro, sometime you're gonna have to tell me how long it takes production wise and video editing to put up one of your reviews on average, because I know how long it takes me when I just do my videos. That's why I kind of like live streaming now, because it's easier.
When her cartoon starts blinking and then like looks off to the side and shit like that, so I'm cool. Like, oh damn, man.
All right, so we're over 2 hours. I think we're gonna go back to our final thoughts. Corey, no, Corey already gave yours, but I'm gonna let you go again. Let's go with Trey. Trey, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. If you haven't seen Werewolf by Night, like you need to. Here's something I kind of looked at and my kind of impressions of just the film in general. And I know it was a short movie, but like we saw, my wife and I last weekend, we watched the first Hocus Pocus film, and then we watched the new Hocus Pocus film. And to me, this sequel to Hocus Pocus was such a downer and disappointment that it was like, okay, I felt like, I felt like they shouldn't have made the film. Like, well, it was amazing to see the original cast again.
That sucks.
To me, it was just kind of like, this film didn't need to happen.
Kind of like me and Rob Zombie's Monsters.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I want to, because I've heard like good things from some fans, but I've also heard like people say it's awful.
It's awful,
but
good.
Like for me, it was like one of those things where I said Hocus Pocus is, it's a classic. You
He was trying to say that Hocus Pocus was a cult classic, and you didn't need to make a Hocus Pocus
sequel. Fuck it up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and you know, I hear what he's saying there. I'm sure other people have seen. They did a pretty good job finding people that if you're a Hocus Pocus guy, Necron, which I kind of doubt that you are. You're more
I'm
into like,
not.
yeah. I don't think you're ever going to watch Hocus Pocus. So
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Sorry about that, guys. Where was I last on our?
You were saying that Hocus Pocus is a cult classic, and there's no need to make a Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh, okay. Well, essentially, where I was
On Lord Necron's show, which he's probably cringing the hell out of right now, is like, I can't believe Trey.
I never thought Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was bringing this up in the sense that you guys are so.
This is Sparta.
Sparta. Yeah. He's like that guy.
That's why he glitched your ass out. He's like,
he was just saying, don't bring this kitty shit in my channel. You know, but like I could say like Hocus Pocus, like the first movie, like something that people put on their Halloween watch list, and it's a staple in that. Hocus Pocus 2, hell no, I'll never watch it again. Werewolf by Night will be a film that I go back to during like Halloween times, and honestly throughout the year, because I just love werewolf movies. But for every Halloween, I will make sure Werewolf by Night is on my list to watch. That's how much I liked it.
That seems like it's a little bit better than an 8.6, Trey.
It probably is, but I
think it's gonna move up. Got to move up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a 9.1.
There we go.
All right, we crossed the 9. There we go. Very good. Very good. And Corey, the final thought one more time.
Final thought: go see it, man. Go watch it. You know, it's a great film, and I loved every aspect of it. Micah Giacchino, you outdone yourself for your first true directing film. Beautiful score. I give this man another go at directing and composing at the same time. You did it. You did it, bud. Good job. So go see Werewolf by Night. You made me a fan. As a new person, I didn't know anything about Werewolf by Night. That was probably, the thing for me. Like, I didn't know who the hell these characters really were.
And you know how he became Werewolf by Night?
No.
In comic book origin?
Yeah, no.
One of his great grandfathers was trying to kill Dracula, hunt him down and kill him. Well, he had a werewolf as a servant, and it bit him. So the family got the werewolf curse. But in the comics, all of Jack's relatives pass away at a young age. A lot of them, I don't remember every damn detail. So he doesn't know he has this curse. And so in the comic, at the age of 18 is when you will first become a werewolf. So he becomes a werewolf. He doesn't even know what the hell's going on.
Beautiful. Yeah.
It must be like puberty sucks.
I think the other biggest thing about this is it got me interested in Werewolf by Night. Like, I want to go. I'm planning on going to find some some trade books and buying some trade books of it and
they're probably going up now.
Absolutely because
Well, how you think I feel? I had a whole run of Werewolf by Night, Tomb of Dracula, and all that stuff, and I had a huge comic collection, and I traded them for guitars.
Oh well, they're pretty awesome guitars. So
yeah, but now I kind of wish I hadn't, but whatever.
Right, they're probably worth a boatload because in the DC realm of things, I do like the fables. It's something that I started to get into a little bit. So the Wolf Among Us, that's something that's intrigued me. So more Marvel monsters. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because Corey reminded me of something where I remember thinking, before I wanted to be a music composer, because our dad did television and stuff, I always thought directing would be a cool idea. And I remember back in middle school and elementary school, I was writing. I wrote a lot of my own ideas, but I also wrote ideas for reboots and stuff like that. But then obviously, growing up and being in band and orchestra, that's when I really found my passion for music and wanted to be a composer. And I always thought, oh man, how cool would it be to do both? Make a movie, direct it, and compose it. And I thought no, that's impossible. That's just too much work to do. Well, Michael Giacchino, you proved me wrong, man, and that sounds awesome.
Well, I think that should give it over 9.5, Trey.
Maybe we got a new John Carpenter on the rise over here.
Oh yeah. John Carpenter. I know he did that with Halloween. But yeah, man, some crazy
Just
stuff.
about all his movies, I think he did the music.
Oh really? I didn't realize that. Even like John Carpenter vampires.
I'm not gonna say for sure, but I think almost all his
look that up.
movies. Yeah, he
That's
does
awesome.
the scoring for them. Especially if it's stuff like Escape from New York, where it's just that bass, bam, bam.
Yeah,
but it fits the movie so perfect, you know.
Yeah,
I think Corey's looking it up.
Yeah,
Corey's about to prove me wrong. I totally forgot about John Carpenter doing Halloween. I do recall that now. But yeah, it's just absolutely incredible job of, you know, directing and cinematography. So yeah, like Corey said, I hope to see Michael Giacchino do more. And
yeah,
Necron, I
John
have to
Carpenter
say, man.
again.
Oh, did he? He did do
Yeah,
John Carpenter Vampires. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic, man.
He's the man. He's the man.
The goat of horror.
So my final thoughts are, I was ready to be, you know, highly disappointed, but I wanted it to be great, and what happened, it's great. I'm happy. I think it caught the tone of the comic that I liked. You know, I know it's not, you know, everything that, and you know, they can't make everything perfect, you know, from the comic. That's kind of impossible, but it did have that comic feel of the Werewolf by Night comic, man. Totally, this werewolf in this little adventure fighting other, you know, monsters, or, you know, people who were trying to. If you read the comics, you know what I'm talking about. It just fit. They did such a great job, man. Kudos to them for doing this. I hope we get well, Mikey, I don't know if you heard, Trey, what Mikey was saying.
I heard some of it, but my internet kept cutting out too. When I'm upstairs, my internet sucks. As you can see.
Yeah. Mikey said he dropped the bomb that they're going to be doing a Tomb of Dracula special.
No
now.
way, seriously?
And seriously, and he dropped the second bomb that it's going to be rated R.
Thank God.
And
that's awesome.
And the next special next year is going to be Man Thing.
Fantastic. I can't wait for that. Like,
so,
yeah.
And I think, you know, obviously they got a whole new world to play in now, and it's going to be great.
And I think the wonderful thing is I think they're going to see people are very pleased with this series for as, you know, adult oriented as it was, you know, for Marvel.
The you know, horror movie fans is a huge fan base. If they can pull them in, you know, that's good for them and good for us, because then we'll get more of this stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, I appreciate you jumping on. Super Bro, stay the whole damn show. Appreciate that. Trey, jumping in, giving your thoughts. That was awesome, dude.
Thank you so much for inviting me, bro. Yeah. I was excited when you were going to do this show, because I knew you knew about the comics, and I'm just a werewolf fan, so I enjoyed it nonetheless. But thank you for having me on, bro. Necron, you know how I feel about you, dude. I love having you on our show, and think the world of you, man.
Yeah, much love, Necron. You're doing great stuff on your channel, and I'm excited to see all the different things that you're talking about. I am a witching hour guy, popping on there and just listening to you. And you're just fantastic human being, and absolutely love our conversations together for sure. So thanks again for having me on.
What's great about the community that, you know, started around, we gotta give credit to Sil, bringing everybody together, is everybody kind of has their own little takes and, you know, things to bring to the table, and that's what's awesome about it.
Absolutely.
Know? All right, that's it. Werewolf by Night fucking killed. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna go 10 skulls. 10 skulls. 10 bloody skulls. Let's see what my sidekick Woofy has to say about it. That's for a werewolf that he thought it was fucking awesome too. All right.
10 silver bullets.
Yeah. I'm gonna play my outro and we will be gone. Let's rock out one more time. Make sure I put on the right show here.